Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Paisley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins got a goal from Fraser Minton a little over 2 minutes into overtime, and they improved to 2-0 by beating Chicago 4-3 at TD Garden.
Yeah, it's good. We wanted to start out strong, and 2 wins like that, and a good one, an exciting one at home, I think, is great.
Elias Lindholm added his second power play goal in as many games, and Jonas Korpisalo made 21 saves in net, including a great one in OT to keep the game tied. Bruins will continue this 3-game homestand tomorrow night against Buffalo. Celtics are back in action tonight in Toronto. Sean Grandy and Cedric Maxwell back for another season. They'll have this preseason game at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots are without safety Jalen Hawkins and pass rusher Keon White for a second straight day at practice. Anthony Jennings also missing. They got a road game coming up Sunday in New Orleans. Christian Gonzalez reportedly spent most of the media portion of the workout away from the team, but the coaching staff said later this was a predetermined plan for an extended warm-up. The New York Giants pulled an upset last night. They beat Philadelphia 34-17, and the LA Dodgers are headed to the National League Championship Series again. They beat Philadelphia in Game 4, 2-1 in 11 innings. The winning run scored on a throwing error by Phillies reliever Orion Kerkering. The Cubs also forced a decisive Game 5 with Milwaukee last night by beating the Brewers 6-0. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchesLaw.com. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with it, argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5, The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
They love the show. In fact, they said, Fred, you're the best.
and Hardy
Who's Taylor the originator?
on 98.5.
Hello.
Hey there.
Aloha.
Bonjour.
How are we doing?
What? I'm an animal.
Can we use this for the radio? No, Nick, with your drinking at noon on Mondays.
Well, I tell her the truth, I miss booty.
That problem is too large for the Sarge.
You know how I feel about clowns on morning shows?
I'm just saying, hello.
Toucher and Hardy.
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back
25 glasses of soda.
Having some fun.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
Of rock and roll. It's wrong.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Eddie. Good morning, everybody. We are Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios, 617-779-0985. Watch us on YouTube by subscribing to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube.
Oh.
It was brought to my attention this morning that our own Ryan Beaton, who you don't hear about very often. Really good point before the show.
Yeah, that between Ryan's now one good ear because the other one is infected, and John, who is pretty much missing an ear because of that juicy tumor that he had in it, between the two of them, they got 2 good ears now.
That is true.
Yeah.
And it's the correct ear. John, your right ear is just a mangled, tumored mess.
Yeah, well, it's not there. It's gone. Did you say tumorless?
You got a big scar.
I mean, he's got all kinds of tubes and wires and machines so that he can, quote unquote, hear, which he can't. And then Ryan has an ear infection in his left ear.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat. Like your if you put your two heads together, you could hear like a normal human boy.
What?
See, John made a joke.
See,
I'm having more and more
that's
trouble
funny.
hearing.
Oh,
Like when
no.
I'm out, like at dinner, I'm having trouble hearing. I'm having trouble hearing my kids.
You got the tinnitus? You got the ringing in the ear? How's
No.
that working?
I think the first type of hearing loss is that one that you're describing, where if I'm sitting in a restaurant and I don't get prickly about it, but if someone says like, "Oh my God, don't you think so?" and I just smile and say, "I can't hear a word anyone is saying."
See, I don't even bring it up. I just am like,
Well, what if they just ask you to go to Iceland for the weekend and you just smile and nod and say, uh-huh?
Then when it comes time to go to Iceland, I won't be going. I mean, it's easier than just going, huh?
Yeah.
Because, but it's hard to know with my kids, especially with my daughter, because she talks so fast, and it's kind of like random. Like she talks in like,
Yeah.
Susie, and you're like, huh? Like, and so I think even if I heard perfectly, that I would not know what she was saying. She would have to repeat it. So, but it is getting bad. Like, not bad yet. But do you think it's from headphones? Because I don't go to that much loud stuff.
It can't help. That's always been my excuse, wearing headphones for hours and hours every day for the last 30-plus years. That's not good.
So Scott's got to be super deaf.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, because
he is.
turns his up, but
Yeah.
he is also he claims he has a lot of impacted stuff in his ears. So
Okay.
he carries around Q-tips. We were at the Super Bowl in one of the ones in Phoenix, and I went out to lunch with him and Bob Sosi. It was a nice place. It wasn't, we didn't go to a deli. I think we went to like Smith and Walensky. So we're sitting down and, a nice table. We're going to have, a grilled Caesar salad or something. And Zoe takes out of his pocket, or maybe the bag he was carrying, a Ziploc bag full of Q-tips and starts digging around in his ears and then placing them down on the table.
Oh, my God.
And I thought Sosi was going to faint.
Oh, that's disgusting.
I bought years ago, one of those cameras that goes into your ear. Like they're not expensive. They go into your ear, and you can look around in there and like pull stuff out. And I was very disappointed by what was in there.
Yeah.
Because I don't clean my ears, and sometimes people are like, you got to clean your ears, so I will. But that's like on the outside. I'm a little skeptical of people saying when you go, like when they go into their ear, like they're impacted with stuff. Like I find that very difficult to believe. Because if mine weren't, and I barely clean my ears, doesn't it stand to reason that like most people's wouldn't be?
So I saw a video just the other day of this guy getting like the water injection and the stuff coming out, and the doctor was doing it saying like, oh yeah, your ear canal actually goes up. And I think a lot of it has to do with your own individual anatomy. Like your ears may be perfectly fine. Now, I'm not saying you don't have hearing loss, but in terms of, what's impacted in there, if your ear canals are in a certain way, you might be all right. If they tilt slightly up or in the wrong angle, that's when you get the problems.
Okay.
At least from the 8-second Instagram video that I watched, and now I feel like I'm an expert on the matter.
Yeah, I've made a conscious decision yesterday that I got to stop. The worst part of my day is when I go to take a nap and I put on YouTube, because usually I would listen to the ASMR, but then my algorithm becomes all this political stuff, and and then like it will be something because it grabs you with the headline, and it's a guy, like they'll say so and so said something, and it's like you're like, and then like an idiot I click on it, and it's some douchebag behind a microphone going blah 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 blah, and you're like because it's not comedy, right? Like I don't care about like what you want to see the clip, which is the whole point of it, is to get you to click on it, and then like it's 2 seconds of a clip. Now, if it was someone being funny, then I would be like, oh, this is funny. But it's not. It's just someone going, and it just, I found out it's like just depressing me. And and this is probably super obvious to everyone, but on my laptop, my YouTube is tilted one way politically, and my iPad is tilted the other way politically.
Oh, how'd you do that? That's pretty good.
Obviously, I looked for something or clicked on something that because at first it was all stuff for 50-year-old white guys. It was like Rogan, all this crap, Rogan and blah 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 and blah blah blah, like just garbage. And Bert Kreischer, like all this crap. And so say at first I like clicked on that stuff because I was unfamiliar. This is probably 3 years ago. Whatever I clicked on at that point has, because I don't watch YouTube all that often on my laptop, but I do watch it before I go to sleep. That's over now. But whatever I did during those things, whatever I clicked on, made my laptop conservative and my iPad liberal. So it's completely different news. Completely different news.
So you're not signed into the same account?
No.
On both? Oh.
No, because I don't have an account on my iPad.
Oh.
My iPad has nothing. It's all jacked up. Like I don't have my email on it. I don't have anything. So the YouTube algorithm is based entirely on that iPad. My YouTube account is on my laptop. So no, my laptop is conservative and my iPad is liberal. So none of it's news. It's just guys in front of a microphone promising they're going to play something and then never getting to it. And people will say, well, Fred, you do that. Yeah, like with fart videos or like, Paul Feinbaum callers. And the end of it is to try to be funny. You can listen to Paul Feinbaum if you want to hear Paul Feinbaum. I mean, the idea is that we're making production and riffing on the clip. But if someone says, I don't even want to give an example. I can't even think of an example off the top of my head. It sounds like the most outrageous thing that ever happened. Like AI is going to kill everyone. And you go, I don't want to die from AI.
Sure.
And then you click on it and they're like, Roman Flumenmamen was in Brussels today and he was talking about the dangers of AI. And then there's like a screen cap of the video and there's some moron in his little home studio sitting there going blah, 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 and they're very uninteresting. And then I'm like, wah. So I forward it, and then there's 17 ads, so I stop. And I'm like, well, this never got to anything.
No.
So I got to, and it's been depressing me. So it's the worst part of my day. I found it's like the worst part of my day. It should be a great part of my day before I go to sleep. It's so hard to stop, even though I'm not enjoying it, and perhaps because I'm not enjoying it, I find it incredibly difficult to like stop. So then I'll finally put on the ASMR video, like my guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you still watching the guy?
Not as much. I've moved.
Really?
I see, and I think you tapped into something when you're trying to relax and you're trying to go to sleep. I don't want anything to look at, to think about that is current. And, if you're watching YouTube feed of anything and anyone is making any reference to something happening today, no. In the background, I want like a movie or the Andy Griffith Show. Take me back to a gentler, simpler time and let that wash over me. I don't want to think about anything happening in the moment.
Well, for the first 40 years of my life when I napped, or 35 years of my life, I would have a TV on precisely for that reason. Like something that was familiar that I had seen before.
Yes.
That was, usually 99% of the time a sitcom.
Don't have to pay attention.
Well, that's why Comedy Central, and I do blame the Disney Corporation. They own Comedy Central. Or no, Paramount, they own Comedy Central. They pulled Seinfeld from its syndication. So that window in the middle of the day no longer has Seinfeld, which I am no fan of. It's South Park all day. I don't like watching South Park during the day.
No, and not before a nap because it's all like current event based.
Nah, but it's also too manic. And I mean, I like South Park okay, but it's not something I want to watch in the background. Like it's not George and Kramer and the guys, Like it's not my friends.
Sure.
Right. South Park's animated, but Family Guy, if that's on, but it's not on during the day. It's on in the evening. But Family Guy, now that can go on because it's Peter in the gang.
Sure.
I like I guess my benchmark movie the one thing that I would watch above all else to, like put me to sleep in the very remains of the day. Give me Anthony Hopkins. Give me Emma Thompson. Give me just them quietly scuttling about the mansion, and just the vaguest hint of intrigue or something. Mr. Stevens, could you please come here? Like, oh yeah, that's good. That's good.
Problem with that though, Hardy, no commercials. Got to have commercials
for the nap.
Yeah, because that is my no, because that is my friends have commercials in them, because I grew up with my friends on the television having commercials. I think we've talked about this. Seinfeld's hard to watch on Netflix for me. Not hard to watch.
I can't do that.
But I don't want to know what Seinfeld's coming. I mean, I kind of got an idea by the one that's playing what the next one's going to be, because I'm pretty familiar with the seasons. But I want the commercials.
But
or
the
it's
sound
not
of the
right.
commercial is what will blast me awake, because of the volume difference sometimes between the programming and the commercials.
I got it low. It's nothing blasting. No, I got it low. I'm not paying any attention to it. It's glowing friend. It's a glowing friend in the back. It was my friend growing up. It was my friend.
Who's your best friend? TV set.
Yeah. Even when I was in Atlanta, during that time that I wasn't consuming popular culture, really, I, would get up at like noon, because I did 7 to midnight, and then I would usually go out at night. It was really fun, and it's probably the greatest time of my life. But I'd wake up and I'd put on Disney Channel, Brotherly Love, the Lawrence Brothers stuff. Like at that, I would watch. Garbage. And then what was good about that was when I worked at 6 to 10 at first, before they moved the shift, I would get home for Seinfeld at 11, and I had never seen Seinfeld.
Oh,
so
what a treat.
Oh, it was it was such a gift. I had never seen Seinfeld. So it was like I actually was watching it and like enjoying it. Like it wasn't just my family. It wasn't yet my family.
You didn't try and turn anyone on to the show. Hey, have you guys seen this Seinfeld? It's really good.
I was aware enough that Seinfeld had been a hit.
Okay, good.
Because I worked at a bar during Seinfeld's last episode, and they had a Seinfeld night for the last episode.
Oh, did they serve soup?
No.
Did they have a big salad?
No, I don't think they
Sandwich.
did that. We used to have South
Big
salad
salad.
night.
Salad.
Yeah, it's a big salad.
Not the
Oof,
sandwich.
I know
oof,
I'm
John.
right.
No,
That's a pretty famous episode. So
Yeah.
we used to have South Park night, the first season of South Park. Remember how big that was? Wednesday night or not? Was it Wednesday night? I think it was Wednesday night. We would big South Park, like we had a night, John, you'll like this, for the last night of 90210.
Oh, really? How about that?
Because it was
Donna
a
and
sports
David's
bar.
wedding, yeah.
Yep,
Last episode.
Yeah. I still haven't seen it really. I was working during it. I don't take it was good.
Last season you could throw away.
Everything after they got out of college was bad. I mean, that newspaper was a fool's errand, and that's not making any money now.
No, but it really jumped the shark when Kelly got amnesia. That was bad. I wasn't a fan of that.
I liked it when she fell into the cult with the wheelchair fella.
Yes.
I thought that was pretty realistic and on the nose.
Did she have to service him?
She would have.
He was trending in that direction. He was working it, and then Brandon, who had backed him beforehand, had to go, and he and Dylan got her out of there. Dylan, posing as the big benefactor, got in with the cult.
Yeah, but what you don't know, Hardy, is that it took Dylan and Brandon to take. He was like a Stephen Hawking type.
Yeah.
Like, he talked through a computer and he couldn't move any of his extremities, so it took Dylan and Brandon to take him down, because they were both trying to fight him and he was moving around like the Dickens.
Finley was quick.
Yeah.
Finley?
Professor Finley.
Yeah, John's got a tremendous memory from 90210, which is something I honestly do think is impressive. Myself being a child of the television, your memory of it is really something.
It's unmatched, John.
And it's also such a great thing to be an expert on. I really think that's just so great. When I was in college, man, we had that we had that common room, and like all the girls would watch 90210 and then Melrose Plays, and I was so in love with this girl that I would go in there and like I'd sit in there, and I was like, oh, this is so stupid. Like all the guys in my dorm did, and we were like, oh, this is so stupid. And I never liked Melrose Place. I mean, I got into it.
Yeah, first 2 or 3 seasons were good, and then
902. But it was also like a little like out, like it was too. Like Darren Starry, like
it got crazy after a while.
Yeah, but even and it was also kind of corny. But the 90210 was corny in the best way. It's like so, about 6 episodes into 90210, I was like, all right.
yeah,
because they were in my grade.
Yep.
As was Saved by the Bell, my grade.
Mm-hmm.
Class of '93 high school, class of '97. College, and then we both started local newspapers in our hometowns.
Yeah.
So
Beverly Hills Beat.
Yeah, the Farmington Hills Funky Files. Myself. All right. Lots of things happened last night. The most annoying man in football is going to be way overblown for his activity.
Jesus Christ. That's the most disappointing thing to me is now we're going to hear more about this.
Well, I will tell you this, is that, and I've read on him, he's not good. Like, he's not going to end up being a good running back.
No, never has a guy been celebrated for rushing for 3 yards a carry.
Okay, because I read,
does.
John, we'll get into it in a second. I read all the advanced statistics on him, analyzed by someone who analyzes him. Everything bad is him. Like right. He's failing at everything that involves athleticism.
All the videos you see online of him running over people, it's like a 5-yard gain.
Well,
he doesn't break away from anyone and run for a touchdown.
Well, also he doesn't break through the line if someone gets a hand on him. And he also you talk about him running through people, very few, at least until last night. I can't speak of last night. I know he had 3 touchdowns. But I also saw a couple of those, and that's not him.
I mean, but it putting him and Jackson Dart on the same team just is cruel punishment.
Yeah, I know. And with his backflips.
Jesus Christ.
He's 5'9".
Yeah, he's 5'9", 220, 230,
he
whatever
ran like a 4.57 in the 40. He's not good.
But he'll be the first one to pop up and flex for you.
I know.
And breathes real heavy and show you the kind of effort he's putting in.
They've asked his teammates, like, what do you think of him? And they're like, what are we supposed to do? Tell him to shut up? They've said that. Like,
of course.
What are we supposed to do? Tell him to shut up?
Yeah, Dayball's like you hear screaming in the background of press coverage. Oh, that's Scattaboo. It's every day.
I'm telling you, it's like a Grant Williams thing. Because they weren't defending
comparison. I like that comparison a lot.
And remember, only Gorman had the balls to go. They really don't like him.
Scattaboo would be the guy to invite everyone over to his house, and only Dart would show up.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
More Toucher and Hardy on the way on the Sports Hub.
Tonight.
Hello. What happened last night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. Hardy, lots on the docket last night.
Yeah, Bruins for their home opener after taking Game 1 on the road against the Capitals. Game 2 of the season, very next night, last night, as they are home to take on the Blackhawks. First period.
Arvidsson, nifty move to get some open space. A centering pass for Middlestat. In front, score! The initial pass was slowed down, but Middlestat stayed with it and gives the Bruins a 1-0 lead.
Indeed, they jump out to the 1-0 lead. It would be 1-1 after 1. Blackhawks go on top 2-1 in the second, but not for long, because the guy that no one can figure out why he's here in the first place.
Haysamont pivots out of the right wing corner, brings it to the dot, toward the slot, got a shot, and they score! On the rebound, Tanner Jeannot! And the Bruins have tied it at 2.
Savor that goal. There won't be many more.
I was just going to say, that's 1 of 1. Good for him.
8 more where that came from for the rest of the season.
But honest to God, if they're going to succeed, they need guys like him to actually score occasionally.
Yeah.
So
you camped out in front of the net, and they had a nice putback, and there
puck
you
came
go.
to him.
Yeah,
good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. You did what you're supposed to do there. 2-2 at the second intermission. Bruins have go on top again in the third period. Another lead.
Sweeps it to the right side of Pastrnak. Steps across the Chicago line. Top of the right circle. Goes down low to Zacha. Got it in front, and they score! And it's Elias Lindholm on the back door. They cash in on the power play just 15 seconds into the third and grab a 3-2 lead.
It was a 5-3 that had carried over from the second period, a 5-on-3. So thank goodness they scored on
that. Was the 5-on-3. I don't know if you guys saw this. Looked to be a gift. They got Nick Foligno, former Bruin, for kind of hiking the puck back between his legs, but you can't.
Foligno's still in the league.
Yeah, he is. He's the captain for Chicago.
Oh wow!
And but they got him for using his left hand to push the puck back between his legs.
Hand pass?
Yeah. Well, I mean that's what they called, but you're not allowed to do that on a face-off. But when is a face-off not a face-off? The puck had already been dropped. It had been there for a couple of seconds. Anyway, it appeared to me to be a gift, and it was a gift 5-on-3, and good for them. They cashed in.
All right.
So, and by the way, nothing comes easy for this team. There was no crisp pass out in front. The puck deflected, and then Lindholm was there.
No,
okay.
the first goal was nice.
The Minton goal.
I thought the first goal was
Middlestat.
Middlestat goal.
Excuse
Yeah, the Middlestat goal was fine. And then in the first game, the Lindholm goal was nice.
They do, but for every Lindholm goal, there's an Arvidsson breakaway that they don't cash in on.
Oh well, there's no doubt. Well, we can get to when we get to overtime.
Wait a second. Overtime? I thought they had a 3-2 lead in the third. Why are we talking about an overtime?
It's off to the right side. Now Levchinov into the middle. Burakovsky coming right down the slot, and he scores. Beats Korpisalo on the glove side, and Chicago ties it at 3.
Yeah.
So Korpisalo wasn't great during the game, but then
once you got to extra time.
Oh, my God. My God. The saves from Korpisalo in the overtime.
On the right side, cutting into the middle as he comes across the line to the far circle. Crossing pass, Rinzel. Got it right in front. Oh, what a stop by Korpisalo! Looked like he was down and out. Made the save with a paddle of his stick. And now Pastrnak brings the Bruins the other way. With Zacha down the middle, Pasta took the shot.
No.
And it ricochets on to Nazar. He's up ahead. He's got Bedard on a breakaway. And another big save by Korpisalo with the glove. Keeps this one going.
Two fantastic saves on the 3-on-3.
That first one, he was dead to rights.
Yeah.
There's no reason he was able to make that save. That first one, the guy was alone 10 feet in front of him. It was amazing.
And the beer is saying, "Oh no, is Pastrnak made a mistake? He shouldn't have. I mean, he should have at least made something happen, like missing the net on that, not even getting it on net."
Yeah.
with, on the 3-on-3 was a big mistake by him. So, yeah, that was – and then when you miss the net like that, obviously in a 3-on-3, that creates an opportunity the other way.
2-on-1, yeah.
Yeah, it creates an opportunity the other way because of the bounce and everything else, and Korpisalo kept them in it. I mean, that was an amazing overtime.
Yeah, action up and down the ice. That's in the first 90 seconds because it didn't take long. It was the 2:12 mark.
Donato and Minton come over. Minton will wind up with a puck. 2-on-1 the other way. Minton coming down the right wing side. Takes the shot and scores! Fraser Minton with the overtime game winner. And the Bruins go to 2-0 with a 4-3
Let my man
victory.
yell.
Yeah.
Popping, it's cutting out on him a little bit.
Overmodulating.
It's overmodulating a little bit, and I like it when Ryan yells.
That call, by the way, made it onto the national feed this morning for the top plays.
Oh,
And,
nice.
and the so what? It's a top play. The all credit goes to the guy who made the play. Not so much. We're talking radio here. It's got to be a good call. If you want to make it on top plays on the radio, you got to have a great call. So Ryan Johnston there with one of the top plays from last night.
The rare 2-on-1 that lasts for about 6 or 7 seconds. You had two guys in the corner. I saw the overhead view of it. The other two guys, they were so far behind, they just gave the other two defenders, they just gave up because they knew they had no chance. So Minton was alone from inside just over his own blue line, skated the length of the ice. There was nobody near him. He had about 5 seconds to pick where he was going to shoot the puck
or pass.
He had no one was around him. This never happens in hockey. He was by himself for an extended period of time.
The 3-on-3 is very exciting. And so that's 2 wins in a row. And just after last year, as far as the first 2 games of a season goes, it doesn't mean anything. Ultimately, it could mean nothing. They could go on to lose 20 games in a row. I do, for Sturm, the new coach, for all the relatively new players, whoever the hell's new and who's not. It's a big mishmash from trade deadline to free agency. I'm not pretending yet to be completely immersed in it. I watched the third period in overtime last night. What do you want from me? And I enjoyed it very much. I think these are 2 very important wins at the beginning of the season to kind of set a tone. Because given what happened last year at the beginning of the season, and then throughout the season, the beginning of that season, and then there was a firing, and then the whole thing fell apart. This is, I think, the beginning of the season is as important as 2 games at the beginning of the season can be.
Well, Marco Sturm happens to agree with you because this is about building a culture.
We said it in the room, too, and when I got into the room, actually, Big Z said it right away in the coach's room. He's like, those are the kind of wins you need to build something, what we want to build here. It's not always pretty. The guys got the job done. It was not easy to play a game like that last night. We came home at 2 a.m. It's mentally, it's a lot.
Actually, if you've seen these 2 games, in my opinion, this is a good introduction to what the team is. The team has to be really good in their own zone. They have to get good to great goaltending every night, and they can't get injured. You don't have a lot of top-line depth. Like, for instance, Hampus Lindholm left after the first period, didn't return. You saw some weaknesses on the back end right after he left, and Korpisalo kept them in it. So if you want to know anything about the Bruins and how they're going to play, if you watch those first 2 games, that's what you're in for if they're going to be any kind of successful this season.
But you can win in the NHL like that.
Sure, I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying if you were talking about building a culture and the identity of the team, that's what this is. That's what they are, these first 2 games.
There's a couple of good things, though. I mean, obviously the penalty kill looked really good in Game 1. The breakout looked a little better last night than it has in the past. They seem to be moving the puck. There's still some issues, I think.
Power play looks much better.
Power play looks better. There's still some issues getting it through the neutral zone. They don't have, a bunch of talented puck movers.
But that's why Stern was brought here. He was brought here to help punch up the power play, and so far he has.
Yeah.
Lindholm has 2 power play goals in 2 games. So there you go.
The other Lindholm, you mentioned Hampus. What's going on with the injury?
No, just a minor injury, not related to his old injury. We just want to make sure he will be okay. He's going to get tested tomorrow, and then we'll see.
Yeah, and he said they're in no rush to bring him back. Hampus Lindholm hasn't been great the last 2 years. A lot of that is to do with injury. Well, most of it probably has to do with injury. I really hope he can stay healthy because, like you said, John, if they don't have him or if he's not playing well,
there's a big drop off.
And they need him. So, they're not going to have a lot of depth. They're in a rebuilding phase, but he is a top end defenseman when healthy, and it's a little frustrating. Way more frustrating for him than me, but it's a little frustrating how often he gets injured. It's not again his fault. It's just fate.
So if I'm Sturm, sit him a couple of games.
They're going
to. Sit him a week. I don't care. At this point in the season, it's fine. And it's good because you got a couple of wins in your back pocket. You're not off to an 0-2 start with things starting to roll downhill the other way. Sit Lindholm. I'm good with it. If it's minor, fine. Sit him for a week.
Yeah, I can read what he said. Will the club be cautious with Lindholm? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think just not just him, but any of our big guys. We just have to be sure we're going to be smart. We need him for the long run. It sounds like it's not too bad, but we'll see tomorrow.
One other thing about not having a captain this year. This is the first time in 20 years the Bruins haven't had a captain at the beginning of the season. It's Pastrnak. And they're doing everything but saying he's in training to be captain next year. Like, for instance, when they introduce home opener, they introduce everybody. Pastrnak, everyone lines up on the blue line for the home opener. Pasternak's the last guy introduced to a big standing ovation. Sturm and Beadle brought this up yesterday. Sturm is saying after game one, I was really impressed with Pastrnak, the way he was on the bench, the way he was, helping teammates out in the room. He's clearly the guy, and this is a full year of training for him to be the guy next year. It's obvious the way the Bruins are treating him.
It seems like it. Yeah, it seems he's so far and away their best player. Demo, go ahead.
Hey guys, great points. I just wanted to add to what you guys are saying, but about Swayman and about his versatility and about his stamina going forward in the season. I think his optimal position would be to split time as evenly as possible with Korpisalo, kind of the same correlation he was 2 years ago and 3 years ago, respectively, with Ullmark. Because I think he is a great goalie, but I think he can't handle the rigors of playing 60-plus games. And I think the optimal situation would be maybe if he played 50 or maybe 48 games and then Korpisalo the difference. And I think that would also benefit Korpisalo with not being too cold. Anyway, thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Yeah, I mean, he struggled last year when they put too much on his plate and he didn't have the offseason, so it would behoove them to maybe play him less than most number one goalies this year, at least to see how it all pans out.
The days of goaltenders playing 70 games is gone. You don't see that. There are a few exceptions, but you don't see that. But they're not paying Swayman to play 45 or 46 games. He's going to play the majority of them.
Yeah. No, he'll play the majority of the games.
Sturm said it a couple of days ago in terms of what the rotation is going to be like.
I'm a guy who's really not game by game, but probably not more than two. I can tell you that. And
so if you play 2 games, you got to rest in between the two, and even if now again, this is all subject to change based on how they're playing. But if they're looking like they did in these first couple of games, Swayman goes. A couple nights later, he goes again. You've got a big tilt coming up. Nope. Now it's Korpisalo. You're not going to see these guys more than 2 games in a row. At least that's the plan going into the season.
He'll play 2/3 of the season. More than half.
That's
2/3
fine.
of the season. That makes
That's
that
fine.
makes sense.
55, 60 games, fine.
Yeah, that sounds about right. All right, so we'll be right back. A very interesting end to the NLDS, and there is not the NLDS. The NLDS.
Yes.
Yeah, the
NLDS.
NLDS. One of the NLDS games.
Yeah.
The other one was super boring. We will be back in just a moment.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins beat Chicago last night, 4-3 in overtime at TD Garden. Fraser Minton, the game winner in overtime. Bruins are 2-0. They'll host Buffalo tomorrow night. Hampus Lindholm left in the first period with a lower body injury and did not return. Celtics will be in Toronto tonight for preseason game number 2. Grandy and Max have the call at 7 o'clock here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots will be in New Orleans on Sunday. They were without Jalen Hawkins, Keon White, and Anthony Jennings at practice yesterday. New York Giants beat Philadelphia last night 34-17. Former Red Sox outfielder Mike Greenwell died yesterday of thyroid cancer at the age of 62. And at the baseball playoffs, the Dodgers beat Philadelphia 2-1 in 11 innings to win that series in 4. Cubs are headed to a Game 5 with Milwaukee after a 6-0 win last night. Sports Hub headlines are presented by Celsius Energy Drinks. Refresh your energy with zero sugar, essential vitamins, and proven ingredients. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
You're listening.
Well, she was 106.
See, I was
That's
showing
what
off.
happened.
I was showing off my knowledge of Sister Jean not going to the games. But yes, it's tragic.
Yeah. Game 4 last night in L.A. between the Dodgers and the Phillies. Both teams scoring a run in the 7th inning, so we go to extras. Bottom 11, bases loaded. Who's this?
2 out.
2 outs.
2 outs. Who's this Orion kid on the mound?
Orion Kerkering is the reliever for the Philadelphia Phillies.
And by the way, you would think after 11 innings of baseball, like every pitcher would have been used. I think the Dodgers used 4 pitchers last night, and the Phillies were only on to their 5th hurler of the night.
By the way,
both starters went 6 or over.
Yeah, like 6 1/3 or something.
By the way, before we move any further, this is Kerkering's 3rd season in the majors. He's a young kid, but he's experienced. He's not a rookie. He's been around the block.
Okay.
He knows what he's doing.
All right, bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom 11. Here we go.
The 0-1, swing and a broken back, comebacker. Kerkering knocks it down, picks it up, throws wildly home to the backstop. And the season is over. The Dodgers rushing out past Orion Kerkering, who stands with his hands on his knees, bent over.
So the ball comes right back to Kerkering. You can see him try to pick it up, and he's looking over to first, but the ball gets away from him and dribbles off the mound a little closer to home plate. At that point, he picks it up, throws it's a wild throw to the plate that's nowhere near the catcher. Dodgers score, Dodgers win. They advance to the NLCS.
Okay, so he made a mistake, and he should have thrown to first. There's no question about it. There's 2 outs. The runner coming from third is going to – I mean, you don't rush to throw to home. You can get him at first.
Also, the runner running to first is only about halfway down the baseline. It would have been a very easy play.
Well, no, yeah. I'm just talking about in your mind.
Yes.
There's really no excuse for going home. I'm aware that you could have gotten him at first. I'm just saying that the runner at third – he's taking off on the pitch, so you can, or he's taking off on contact, so chances are you're not going to get him at home.
Yeah, it's really tough to justify because if you've taken extra time, it's like, oh, I have even less time in this play than I thought, so where should I go? To the play where the runner was halfway there before I even got the ball?
Okay, but he explained it, and he's not making excuses because he was wrong, and he admits it. He says, I didn't want to throw across my body to first. People are going ballistic apparently, like on social media about the guy. I mean, get out of it. I mean, wasn't it a slow, or a medium grounder to second that he just turned and whipped it into the stands? I mean, yeah, it got hit back at him. It bounced off. He probably wasn't sure of time probably stood still. He made a mistake. It's an error. It's not his fault. He didn't get the loss, so it can't be his fault the game-winning run scored in terms of right? Because did he put the game-winning run on? I don't think he did. But because he didn't get the loss. So, but I could be wrong there. But he didn't get the loss.
No.
It wasn't his fault.
No.
They brought him in. So, look at it this way. So he's up with the bases loaded. He gets the guy to dribble one back to him. So he did what he had to do there.
Yeah, with Kerkering, that was his second batter he faced. He walked the first guy.
Okay.
And that was the second guy he faced.
So fine, bases are loaded, but bases are loaded. He gets the guy to dribble back to him. So right there, he didn't choke. He didn't walk. If he walks the guy, that's entirely his fault. I just think he's getting killed way too much. He made a mistake. He should have thrown to first. There's no question about it. He probably freaked out when it hit him and bounced, and then he lost track of how much time had gone by.
Everybody's running in different directions.
But I can think of what he was thinking, because he's probably thinking, "Oh crap, I flubbed this. I got to make a play. Yeah. I don't have any time," and he rushed it home. Home's closer than first. He's wrong. He's obviously wrong. But to act like this is like the biggest blunder in the history of, Philadelphia sports, I think is a little tough on the kid.
The visual, which we just heard the play-by-play guy talk about, is really striking. I mean, he's got his hands on his knees. He's looking at the ground. Meanwhile, there are Dodgers running everywhere. I mean, he's not moving. The rest of his teammates immediately turned and left the field. He stayed there. He had to have a guy come back and get him and lead him off the field while people were dancing around him. It was bad.
And the thing is that the people that are like going crazy on him are like the fans. There's no way his teammates are doing or even feeling that way. They've all done this stuff before. It drives me crazy on social media. The guy, if he walks the guy, that's what pisses me off. If he gives up a hit or walks the guy, no one's talking about it.
Right.
He's the pitcher. He got the guy to roll back to him. He made an error. He rushed it and made an error. But it's not like he screwed up like the whole situation. It drives me crazy. If he gave up a hit, no one would be on him. If he walked the guy, you wouldn't hear about it. It's because he was successful with his pitch that all this is happening.
So
get out of here with all this nonsense.
What did his manager say to him afterward?
Rob, obviously a heartbreaking way to lose. Looked like you had a long conversation with Orion coming off the field. Do you want to share a little what you told him? Or
just to keep his head up. He just got caught up in the moment a little bit. Coming down the stretch there, he pitched so well for us, and I feel for him because he's putting it all on his shoulders. But we win as a team and we lose as a team. So.
Yeah, you made an error.
Yeah,
but now the danger is after that kind of situation. How does he come back? Does he come back from that?
Oh, he'll be fine, John.
Well, if I'm his sports psychologist, I'm saying you did everything right. Except, and then in the heat of the moment.
Logically that makes sense. You make a good point, but at the same time, that lasting image, you saw how it affected him.
Well, obviously in the real time, but I'll what would be worse for me personally is if I walked the guy. Like if I walked him on 4 pitches, because then you get the yips.
Yeah.
Then now you're thinking I can't throw it over the plate. The yips with the ball. Jesus Christ. Lester couldn't throw to first. He might be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He couldn't even throw to first.
It'll haunt him every night for the entire offseason, and once he gets back out there in spring training, he'll be fine.
Oh, it's going to bother him his whole life. But, look, it's going to bother him. I just don't get this, going crazy on the kid for...
No, it's stupid.
It's a 1-1 game, first of all. All the heroes on that team, like Bryce Harper, the superhero that yells at the commissioner because... he's not making enough money.
Oh, yeah. Your offensive powerhouse that managed to score 1 run up until that point.
Yeah, Harper, the hitless in that game. Schwarber with 1 for 5 in that game. Congratulations.
Yeah. By the way,
Trey Turner 0 for 5. All your big guys didn't hit. Blame it on that kid.
Real quick, just Dodgers-wise, Shohei Ohtani, for how great he is, and he may be the best baseball player of all time.
1 for 11 in that?
148 in the playoffs so far. And we were talking real quick about Clayton Kershaw, who's another Hall of Fame pitcher, got his ass kicked 2 nights ago. I mean, it's very sad.
Well, Kershaw's not pitching again. You want to hear something fun, though? It could be Cubbies, Dodgers. Hooray!
They will play their Game 5 tomorrow night in Milwaukee.
Cubbies.
It's better for the league.
6-0 win yesterday.
It's better for the league. 2 major markets, 2 huge markets. Yeah. There's no hero in that game.
Dodgers Phillies should have been at 8 or 9, not 6 o'clock. By the way, I didn't understand that at all.
Dodgers, because you're a fool.
They played the early game. Why in L.A. would you have L.A. play the early game?
Because they're East Coast, maybe, and that the Milwaukee and Chicago are Central Time. I don't know. Maybe It doesn't make sense. What I just said doesn't even really make sense because it's only an hour difference. I don't know, John.
Okay.
Maybe because just to piss you off.
Maybe.
All right. Bertrand Beer. Bert Breer is going to be joining us in just a moment here from MMQB. So much going on in the NFL. We will talk to him in just a moment. we're the best friends that can be, my buddy and me.
Now, more of your best morning buddies, Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
I think when the quarterbacks do it, and they do it.
Weekend is now 4-day weekend, I guess.
Jesus.
That's the way it works.
What?
I'm not an advocate for it. I'm not sitting here defending the decision. I think it sucks, actually.
You have Indigenous Peoples Day off, but why Friday? Why today?
I don't know. To prepare for it, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay.
to get everything ready for the parties.
I think my son even has school on Monday.
And like college kids have like a
doesn't.
fall break now, right? Like to mirror spring break, I think. It's not like us when we were kids, that's for sure.
Did you go on your run this morning?
I did.
You got to be
A little
careful.
chilly. A little chilly.
A little frost on the pumpkin. Any
A
ice
little
out
chilly.
there?
Like I actually like running when it's cold out. It's nice.
Yeah, man, because he's putting it in. He's putting in the work.
Gets you going a little bit.
A little burn in the lungs.
Yeah, a litlittle burn in the lungs.
Nice.
Well, no, when you're pushing it that hard, like it's nice to have Mother Nature.
I try
cool you
to,
down.
yeah. And you're just trying to stay humble while I'm putting on that display of athleticism for everybody in town.
Yeah.
Just stacking days. That's all you're doing.
Yeah. We had Phil Perry in yesterday. He will do pull-ups with a dumbbell between his feet. Can you do that?
No.
So you're admitting right here. Oh, Milo doesn't have school Monday.
But can Phil run 5 miles?
I don't know.
No, he can't. Phil. I don't know if he could, but he doesn't.
He doesn't like the cardio.
No. They're like opposites. And now it's up to you it's really a dealer's choice whose body you'd rather have, Bill or Phil's. Or Bill. Bird or Phil's. I got Belichick on my brain so much. Bird or Phil's. No, my son doesn't have school on Monday. All right, so neither of them have school on Monday.
But how's he going to be ready for Monday if he doesn't have Friday off?
That's a good point.
That's a good point. Well, listen, you can take a big 4-day weekend away. All right.
My daughter experiencing real college for the first time because she does have class today, but she's not going. I went and picked her up last night. She's just doesn't have to be there on Monday. Decided she was going to
UMass, right?
Yeah, going to give herself a 4-day weekend.
There you go.
I'm like, well, I guess you can. Did you talk to your?
Well, like if you're smart when you're in college, you never schedule a class that has class on Friday.
You can't do that as a freshman. It's very difficult as a freshman.
As a freshman, it's hard, but like once you get older, like it's easy. It's relatively easy. Like my last 3 years of college, I think I only took like one class that had a Friday session, and that was coaching football.
4 years at Northeastern, I never had a Friday class, and I never had a class earlier than 10:30 a.m. I pulled it off.
Wow.
Jesus. Well, when I was a freshman, there were 9 o'clock classes, and I thought, my first semester, my freshman year, 9 o'clock, that's later than high school started. I'm all right. And then I realized very quickly that that class was going to get dropped because I didn't drink in high school. So when I got to college, I went, oh, no. If I drink at night, getting up in the morning is much more difficult. All right, Bert, I read an article by a guy in Cleveland, and he was saying that since Shedeur Sanders is behind Bailey Zappi on the Cleveland depth chart, that it's time just to get rid of Shedeur Sanders. Because
that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Okay, because the idea being that if they don't believe that he can play quarterback, it's not fair to Gabriel to have to answer these questions every time he speaks. The coach is asked about a third-string quarterback more than any coach in the history of the league. That it's just enough. They don't believe in him. They don't think he's good. It's time to move on from him.
If we would just treat him like a normal fifth-round pick, none of this would be an issue.
Well, that's kind of the point of the article, is that he's not treated like a normal fifth-round pick. And then he gives the example, I guess the Eagles cut their traded their or cut. Hang on one second.
Yep.
I guess the Eagles traded or cut their 6th-round quarterback pick this year already. Mm-hmm. So, like, the point is that this happens all the time. So that and then this is a Cleveland reporter, so he believes that either Haslam, the owner, is making this happen, or they're petrified a Mayfield situation is going to happen, and Shedeur Sanders is going to go somewhere else and succeed.
And you were also talking about if you would just treat him like a 5th-round draft pick. He's doing his best to force them not to.
Regardless of his behavior, it's not insane to cut a 5th-round pick or to trade a 5th-round pick.
Well, I'll give you guys a good example. So, have you guys ever heard the name Cam Miller? I wouldn't expect to.
No.
Okay. So he was drafted in the 6th round by the Raiders. Okay. The Raiders are obviously in a rebuilding year. New coach, new general manager. So they draft this quarterback in the 6th round. This guy was a 4-year starter in college, 5-year starter in college. Well, no, 4-year starter in college, and he won 2 national championships at North Dakota State.
Okay.
So very accomplished college quarterback, and so he's a 6th round pick. He gets cut, and now he's on the practice squad. And no one, this guy probably went like 30 or 40 picks after Shedeur Sanders. No one's screaming that the Raiders need to get a read on Cam Miller, right? Like, they like him. They want to keep developing him. They cut him. They put him on the practice squad. They're going to keep working with him. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's that stage of the draft.
Yeah, but Bert, if they cut him, then he could get picked up. The idea is they would cut him and maybe put him on the practice squad.
But maybe he doesn't clear waivers. So now you're holding 3 quarterbacks and you're giving up a roster spot to develop a guy that you don't really want to develop. That's kind of the point. Yeah. So I just think like this thing has gotten. I think what's best for Shedeur Sanders, based on what I know about where he was in the spring and the summer developmentally, is for him to treat this as a redshirt year, and if it becomes more than that, then fine. But I heard, like, I think it was Marcus Spears, who I love. I covered Marcus Spears in Dallas when he was a player, right? Really, and I respect him. I think he's really good at the job, all of that. But I heard him say on TV, I would cut, or I would if I was Shedeur Sanders and they didn't move me up to 2nd string after they traded Joe Flacco. Well, then I would ask for my release. I'm like, what planet are we living on?
Well, that's ridiculous.
A 5th round pick?
Yeah.
But
like,
that's
you are fighting for. If you do that, you're sabotaging your career.
And Bert, I think another thing that was I don't know how much I know in the offseason you were talking, or during preseason you were talking to Cleveland. I don't know how much you've been talking to him recently. Without right out saying it, but coming very close to it, this guy was saying the coaching staff doesn't believe in him. Certainly that he's going to be capable of being an NFL quarterback anytime soon.
They don't believe. All right, so with Dylan Gabriel, I can tell you, like, they knew very early on, like, we can put him in a game, right? I would say by the 1st or 2nd week of training camp, we feel comfortable if Joe Flacco gets hurt, we can put this guy in a game. Which, by the way, is why they traded Kenny Pickett. Because you don't trade Kenny Pickett unless you get to that point. And it was like, and we feel like by October, November, like, he could start. And that doesn't mean you think he's going to be a long-term starter. It just means he could go out there and be a functional starting quarterback for us. They didn't feel that way about Shedeur Sanders. And I'm just, like, I know everybody looks at the position is so important, and so we all look at it in a vacuum. But there are still 10 other guys in the huddle who have a job to do. And you can't like, when so many people are dependent on what that one guy is doing, that what the quarterback is responsible for, if the quarterback can't go out and function the offense, well, then there's a 27-year-old guard who's not under contract for next year who, look, and I'm making this up, but the 27-year-old guard who's not under contract for next year, whose ability to make money is riding on somebody who can't run the offense.
Well, Stefanski said that. He said that this week before he announced that Zappe was going to be the backup. Remember when he made the statement that basically Zappe was going to be the backup without saying Zappe was going to be the backup?
Yet on it. Yeah.
Well, Zappe's going to be the backup. They're going to call him up from the practice squad. So he said that. He's like, in order for, like, there's a lot of people on this team. There's like a lot of people, like, I think he said almost that. There's a lot of people who we have to take care of, and that the team needs to function. Like, they said that, and the guy from Cleveland was saying he just said exactly what you said. They've always liked Dylan Gabriel. They like him now, and they've never believed Shedeur Sanders is capable of taking over right now. So the point is, okay, sure, cut him and get him on the practice squad. But the only reason they wouldn't do that, and he advocates for that, cut him and put him on the practice squad like you would a normal 5th round pick, But he says the reason that they won't do that is one of two things. One, Haslam, who this guy's convinced made him draft him, the owner of
Who
Cleveland.
wrote this, by the way? I'm just wondering.
The athletic writer for Cleveland.
Okay.
That Haslam made him draft him, or they're afraid, and I think this is just his theory, that Baker Mayfield's success now in Tampa, I guess it's a huge deal in Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
they don't want to make that mistake.
Do you know they've had like
Baker Mayfield
41
might be
quarterbacks since 41 starting quarterbacks since 2009 or something like that?
Well, have you seen that jersey? There's like the
Yes,
guy.
I have seen that. It says couch at the top, and then the other 40 quarterbacks listed beneath it.
That's funny. That's funny. I don't know how there's much room. You got to keep getting smaller fonts.
There isn't. He's like added material at the bottom.
No, what I'm saying. You said that. So it's like a dress now.
He's got a train.
Yeah. So he's exactly. He's like getting married.
Yeah.
So do you buy any to that? That they're afraid that those are the only two reasons they wouldn't at least try to push him onto the practice squad, and then. And one more thing, and then I know it's just one article, but it's a big player nationally. Do you think that because we know the Eagles and the Ravens were interested in drafting him, and he pish-poshed those things because he couldn't be the starter. Do you think that those teams would be interested? This is actually an interesting question. Do you think that since he kind of shined on at least the Ravens, that they'd be willing to let bygones be bygones and trade for him?
Do you guys remember, like when Tebow came here, how
I couldn't forget
they were able to, like, I think it has to almost be a team like that that's got such a stable quarterback situation, and is where he's not going to be the story. You can't, like, if you're a team that has any sort of shaky quarterback situation, you can't do it. Like, this, to me, is exactly why Tim Tebow couldn't get jobs as a backup, why Jay Cutler couldn't get jobs as a backup, why Colin Kaepernick couldn't get jobs as a backup, because this is why coaches don't want a backup quarterback who's a celebrity. That's why they don't want it. It's like, give me the guy who no one's ever heard of, who will blend in with the furniture here. I don't need... like every time my quarterback throws 2 picks for there to be segments on First Take on it.
Well,
like,
that's
I don't
the point.
need that. Yeah.
That's the whole point. That's the point the guy was making. Someone had called in saying my take was silly, and I wanted to take the call saying that it's not my take.
I'm with you on that, though. Like, I think you have to see something. It's kind of interesting that way, right? Because you don't think he's ready to go, and you don't feel comfortable putting him in the game. Yet to put up with all of this, you have to see something there, right? Like, there has to be something worth developing has to be there. So that.
But what if there's not, which is the theory?
If there's not, then you get rid of him.
Okay.
If there's not, but if there is, it's the most important position in sports. So you put up with it, right? Like, it's again like when Brady was a rookie here, they held on to 4 quarterbacks. No one holds on to 4 quarterbacks. Well, they held on to 4 quarterbacks. Not because they knew he was going to become Tom Brady, because, maybe there's something there. You know what I mean?
I think you've come around to this guy's point. His point is they don't believe in him. They don't think it's worth keeping him around. And the only reason they're doing it is because, yes, and it's a huge headache. And everything you said about not wanting a backup quarterback where they're asking all these questions, it's exactly what they said. And that it's Haslam or the fear of him becoming Baker Mayfield.
Because I was a little sensitive to I heard people saying like Shedeur should march in there and ask for his release, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
saying the Browns should get rid of him.
Right.
I'm not saying it. I mean, the guy was saying it. I thought it was an interesting point.
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's like if there's something there that's worth developing, you keep developing him and you put up with it. And, I just think there's a certain tone deafness to the way Shedeur's handled something. The whole mime thing. Jesus. I mean, like...
We talked about this before.
Yeah, the mime thing, it's like, you have to know that was going to become a bigger deal than if you just said something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. the whole pantomiming the answer, Fred, when they asked him about Flacco leaving and him still being a backup, and he kind of pantomimed his answers to the media last week.
I saw it. We talked about it. We talked about it on the air.
But maybe he should have pretended he was in a box.
By the way, didn't Baker Mayfield went through a couple of teams? It wasn't a straight line from Cleveland to Tampa.
No, but he was on the 49ers, wasn't he?
I thought it was the Rams.
No, he was. The Rams. I was thinking
in Carolina, right?
No, he got traded from the Browns to Carolina. Then Carolina cut him. He went to the Rams and played on that Thursday night game. If you guys remember, where he showed up on Wednesday.
I don't. I don't remember him.
You don't remember that?
No.
So he got cut by the Panthers and showed up reported to the Rams on Wednesday and played in the Thursday night game and won the game.
Like a hockey player.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was
unbelievable.
Bag of gear.
Yeah, and the Rams were bad that year, so I think it was a relatively meaningless game, but it was holy crap, what did he just pull off? Stafford was hurt. And they were starting what was his name? John Wolford. I think they were starting John Wolford.
Wow.
And they went to Baker.
Good memory.
Yeah.
Well, I know that I knew it was San Francisco or the Rams. I knew it was somewhere where quarterbacks can't fail.
And then Baker went to Tampa, and now Baker might be the MVP of the league. Baker did some unbelievable things last week.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I mean, he certainly has the ability to come back and certainly get you in 60-yard field goal position. All right, we will be back in just a moment with more of Burt Breer.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
All right.
Hey, listen, if you've got to go, we understand, but make sure you bring the Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Todger and Hardy.
That's what I want on my tombstone.
On the Sports Hub.
You know, you hate it for any of the players. They work so hard to put themselves in position to have a great season.
Hey, guys, I got a question. The last couple of years, I've been hearing a lot of people saying, oh, this player's a callous because he's asking questions and this and that. He's asking too many questions. I thought coaches, they used to like when players were into it, asking questions about a play. So why is it all of a sudden wrong for a quarterback or a player to ask a question about a play?
What are you
How is this
referring?
play going to work as opposed?
What are you specifically referring to?
Oh no, I thought I heard Bursa say something about asking questions. It's not only him; it's just I heard it like in Felger and Maz. Oh, he's asking. Mac Jones is asking so many questions. It's like, why is that wrong for a player to ask questions? I don't know if it's just you guys, but I've heard.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, he might be referring to like the, you know, I remember when Mac was here a couple of years ago, and I think it was related to Kendrick Bourne too. Was kind of like where the rift was with the coaches, where it's like the explaining the why to them, and that's just this generation of athletes.
Well, no, but there's a difference, and it doesn't matter what the generation is between asking questions and questioning things.
Right.
And I think that's probably what the difference is there. You got to trust the process. Okay, let me understand how to do the process. Can I have a question? I have a question about how to get this done. It's not yours to necessarily question the strategy.
Right.
Yeah. You can have a question about tactics, but not the strategy.
That's how they indoctrinate you in school. Don't ask questions. Don't challenge things.
Just memorize it. Memorize the periodic table and shut up.
Just do the national anthem and sit down, man. Do the man's bidding.
Because I told you to was the answer to why back then.
Well, not back then.
Still?
Everyone's trying to keep their thumb on you. The man making you wear that noose on your neck every day. Ants marching into work, baby. Cheap lemmings. All right, the Eagles lost last night. What's going on there?
Well, I mean, certainly didn't look great last night. The way that they played down the stretch against the Broncos wasn't awesome. I'd say it's a couple things. I think the offensive line has not played at the level, and that's the personality of their team runs through the lines of scrimmage. Is everybody's been saying since the Super Bowl, and so. For one reason or another, and they've had some guys in and out of the lineup. They lost Mekhi Becton, who went to the Chargers, and then
God, how do they overcome that?
I knew that one would get you. But the offensive line just hasn't looked quite the same.
Feel free to go a little deeper on these names, Bert. You don't need to keep it to the household.
No, I know who he's referring to. He's a Jets first round pick a couple years ago.
That's why I am.
Yeah.
So. I think that there's that. They're not as dominant up front. And I think there's a reality with Jalen Hurts too, which is that you have to play a certain way. And he's a really good quarterback.
What do you mean you have to play a certain way?
You have to be able to run the ball effectively.
Okay.
And I think that's a huge part of he's not the type of quarterback that, and this is where it can handcuff you a little bit, and that's why, the way he played in the 2 Super Bowls was really eye-opening because, he was doing some drop-back stuff that, maybe there's something here. But there have been these blips in his career where when you get in long yardage or you're playing from behind and, now all of a sudden you can't tie everything in the run game to the passing game, it doesn't look quite the same. And now he's starting to miss receivers, and that's where you have the frustration of guys like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. And so I think there's some of that, right? Where when Saquon Barkley isn't on pace for 2,500 yards, it's going to look a little bit different. And that, I think, that all relates to what's happening up front with them. And then defensively, they lost more than people think. And I think everybody thought, they're just running it back. They're running it back. They have 5 new starters on defense. Nakobe Dean has been out all year. They lost Milton Williams, who was part of their defensive line.
Who's been great here.
They lost Josh Sweat, who damn near might have been the MVP of the Super Bowl. They lost Darius Slay, who's a veteran corner. You guys are familiar with him from Detroit. They lost Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who was kind of like a wild card, but you need those. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know that the defense is playing at the same edge they were last year. And I'll call myself out. I whistled by the graveyard on it a little bit. It did feel like they were playing with fire. Like, you know, like how Buffalo seemed like they were like playing with their food a little bit and then probably got burned for it last week. Like you saw Buffalo look dominant in the first quarter against Miami. And then they kind of took their foot off the gas and were just okay. And then they screwed around against New Orleans and they won in the end. And then finally it caught up with them. There's a little bit of that here too. I just think it happened against the Giants. That's what's eye-opening about it, is who it happened against. You know what I mean?
Well, did you think that you mentioned Buffalo? Does that take anything? What did you make of that Sunday night game? Was that Buffalo again playing with their food, or was it New England?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
so it wasn't so much.
I think it's both. I think it's both.
Yeah, I was going to pose the question: Is this? So it wasn't, in your opinion, it wasn't so much New England dominated as it was as much Buffalo, again, like you said, playing with their food, getting it too much into themselves.
It was. I think it was a Buffalo team that is taking everyone's best shot every week, you know? And I think the Eagles, it's the same thing. Like for the Giants last night, like the Giants were looking at that like, we can save our season here, you know? And the Eagles are on a short week on the road. And the Eagles have taken everybody's best shot all year, and they were just in a 12-round fight against the Broncos on Sunday. So I think, you know, sometimes people don't look at these things, the spots these teams are in. And so, I think the Patriots played great. There's tons of promise there. The play style, I think you can totally see, like, what Mike Vrabel's building. And Drake May looks like he has a chance to be a superstar. The Patriots aren't as good as Buffalo. The talent's not close. The depth isn't close. The balance isn't close. The quarterback isn't there yet. Drake May play great. He's not Josh Allen yet.
But it's a pretty good case of like a team, if they show up and play close to as well as they can play, first half notwithstanding. But in the second half, if you show up and you get a team that either takes their foot off the gas or is just tired from taking every team's best shot, or whatever they're playing with their food, then those are the games that any team in the NFL pretty much can win with
the Giants are an example of it.
Yeah. Now it'll be interesting with the Eagles because they get the Giants again in 2 weeks, so they'll play them again. Is there
right? And I do think I would say like the rookie quarterback, like I don't know how good he'll be long term, but he's definitely given them a spark. And did you guys see when Russ went in the game last night? Like how
he got booed out of the stadium,
and it kind of felt like things died out a little bit on them,
Yeah.
So I just look at I mean the Eagles have the Vikings next, and then they play the Giants again, and then the Packers, and then the Lions. So this is going to be.
Is there any chatter about Sirianni? It was so back and forth last year. Is it?
At some point, can we stop talking about his job security?
I don't talk about it at all.
He was going to get fired the season before he won the Super Bowl.
The Eagles fans won't shut up about it.
It's insane. But I mean, they did. Now, to be fair, they did fire Doug Peterson 3 years after winning a Super Bowl. So I guess those things. That's what justifies it. But I mean, Nick Sirianni, through 4 years, has made the playoffs 4 years in a row, right? I think, and his winning percentage is top 15 all time.
How reactionary is it in Philadelphia right now? Yeah, they made the playoffs 4 years, or you just lost 2 games in a row. Get them out of here.
I saw Colin Cowherd tweet last night that today is going to be an all-time sports talk radio day in Philadelphia with what happened to the Eagles and Phillies.
Oh yeah, not good.
Well, is A.J. Brown that upset?
I mean, other teams are paying attention to, is he going to be available? I don't think he will be because there's so much in a win-now spot. But, yeah, I mean, A.J. Brown's frustrated, and I think that there's a piece of this that is for A.J. Brown, and I think, this is something I remember talking with you guys about with Brady. Was it 19? Yeah, 2019 was the year when he said we're the most miserable 8-0 team, wasn't it?
That was Was it 18 or 19? I
think it was
forget, but
19. I think it was 19.
I remember him saying that, yes.
It's the most miserable 8-0 team of all time.
Yeah.
I think like the one thing people need to remember in these situations is you can't ask these like high-level athletes to be the most competitive people on the planet from a team standpoint and then not be that way about their own individual performance, you know? And so I think for A.J. Brown, that's what it is like he feels like right now where the offense is, how the quarterback is playing is affecting his individual performance. And like the way I look at it is the Eagles look at this as sort of the price of doing business with a receiver like that, and that you've got to manage it. And I look at the way they won the game. Who was it? They won the game a couple weeks ago it was the game against the Rams where they came back, right? And in that game, the second half, like Saquon Barkley was almost like a non-factor. Like they were so reliant. It was the AJ and Devontae show. And so like I think they need AJ to win right now. So I can't imagine a scenario where they trade him unless AJ just completely goes off the reservation.
Here's the thing.
What happened in that game against the Chargers was
the Rams.
No, Chargers. Oh no, you're right. The Rams. Hang on a second. Go ahead, John.
I was just going to say I saw a report. I forget if it was on the Amazon broadcast or Schefter had it before the kickoff. Something along the lines of, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, and A.J. Brown were all leaving the facility at the same time.
And
they
had that meeting.
They were talking in the parking lot for hours or something like that. I'm trying to remember exactly.
Athletic, I think they reported it during the week that I can't remember.
It was something.
But they had a
players only
they had a
sat down.
Meeting. It was Saquon.
They hashed it all out.
It was Saquon, AJ, and Jalen Hurts.
Right,
meeting,
and they sat down. They hashed it all out. Everyone sang together, and then they go out and do that last night. I mean, it doesn't matter. None of that matters.
I mean, but I do look at it like I think you can look at like the stuff in a different context. Now they had to scratch and claw to beat the Cowboys. They barely got by the Chiefs, right? When the Chiefs were beat to crap. They had to come back. They needed a miracle against the Rams.
Yes.
And then, the Bucks. The Bucks came back on that. So it's like every week is a war with them right now. And again, it's the same thing. Like I think it's the same thing I talked about with Buffalo. It's like you're taking everyone's big shot. You are everyone's big game. If a team is struggling, it's their chance to get out of it. If a team's playing well, it's a chance to validate it. Like it's every single week. Like you are. And it's. I mean, the NFL's a war of attrition. So,
right.
It'll be interesting to see what becomes of this because I do think like they're built in a way. I think one of the things that Nick Sirianni is really good at. The Rams dealt with this too. Like this was one thing that McVay didn't get anywhere near enough credit for. The egos that Sean McVay had to manage in Los Angeles, right? Like that championship team had Odell Beckham, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. It was, big personalities, big egos. And Philly's got a lot of that. And I think that's one thing Sirianni's done a good job of over the years. But, how are you going to manage the egos in that locker room? Like, Jalen Carter's no picnic to deal with. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
And there's a reason why Jalen Carter wasn't the first overall pick, even though he had the talent to be. A.J. Brown's obviously like a mercurial personality. Saquon's a big star.
Right. There's a lot of egos to juggle, and it's very difficult. Right. By the way, in that Tampa Bay game, I watched the second half. They targeted Brown 9 times. He had 2 catches. Right. They just were forcing him the ball. Hurts in the second half was literally forcing the ball, and it was costing them offensively. Now, they couldn't run the ball, but he was just forcing it and forcing it and forcing it to him. All right, we will be back in just a moment with more of Bert Breer. Here are the headlines.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Fraser Minton scored in overtime. The Bruins are 2-0 after beating Chicago 4-3 at TD Garden. They continue this 3-game homestand tomorrow night against Buffalo. Celtics continue their preseason tonight in Toronto. Grandy and Max have the game at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. TMZ is reporting Paul Pierce arrested Tuesday night in L.A. on suspicion of DUI. Patriots are missing safety Jalen Hawkins and pass rusher Keon White for a second straight day at practice. Anthony Jennings also missing. Next game for the Patriots Sunday in New Orleans. New York Giants pulled an upset last night. They beat Philadelphia 34-17. And former Red Sox outfielder Mike Greenwell died yesterday of thyroid cancer. He was 62 years old. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the Wilbur Theater. Boston Chris DiStefano is in town for 3 unforgettable shows. Catch him at the Chevalier Theater this Friday, October 10th, and at the Wilbur Thursday, October 9th, and Saturday, October 11th. Tickets and more information, you can find it at thewilbur.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8 o'clock.
Toucher and Hut.
model. We got
Like the last hurrah. I think it's like he said Mitzi's the worst rapper on it. Third coolest. All right, here's the deal. We have Bert Breer in studio, and an emailer sent this. He's still on this Twitter, Big Musk guy, and he put something incredibly controversial out. Would you like to hear it?
Sure.
Yeah.
You're sure? This
Yeah.
is very damning. I honestly don't think there's anyone more misunderstood in football than Matt Patricia. I wish everyone could spend 20 minutes with the guy. I think a lot of opinions would be drastically changed. I know he's with Ohio State. Never has your bias been more reflective than in this. I mean, it's almost inexcusable, Hardy. And John, I think
I should have
you would
known
agree.
this was coming.
Yeah.
Well, it got sent to me. I'm not on Twitter, so this got sent to me.
It was an email we received.
Yeah,
Okay.
they both got it too. So it's
Yes,
I'm really
we're
not
all
on Twitter.
All three of us are copied
He is
on it.
he is. I'll just say this: like, he is a tremendously nice guy, and it was actually really.
Why was he such a dick then? I don't mean to interrupt you.
Because I don't think because I don't think I think he fell into the trap that every one of Bill's assistants seems to fall into, which is they didn't develop enough of an outward personality because Bill sucked all the oxygen out of the room, and so now they thought, well, I got to be that guy.
It happened to what's his face in New York,
and he didn't.
And
And
he was
didn't,
a good coach.
Yeah, and he didn't work anywhere else.
He was a victim of personality repression.
The guy who, to me, like the guy who had the most success coming from here, as a head coach in the NFL, was Bill O'Brien.
Yeah.
And why is that? Well, it's because Bill O'Brien didn't come up like he wasn't a Bill Belichick protege.
He wasn't like an intern.
He was like he worked for George O'Leary at Georgia Tech. He worked for Ralph Friedgen at Maryland. Like he had been a bunch of different places and then came here. And so like it part of it was that like
he's with Ohio State and you paid them.
yeah, like there's part of that, but like I've gotten to know him pretty well over the years, and like he is like legitimately one of the nicest people you've ever been around.
But just for the audience,
and I brought it up. No, I'll continue.
Okay,
I want to bring this home for you though. I brought it up because I saw that this was in response to him and like a couple of the reporters at Ohio State the other night. They had access, right?
Mhm.
Like, and there's like access at Ohio State when they have media access is in the big, huge field house there, right? So you can see things going on with the team like after practice. And, two of their best players, Caleb Downs and Sonny Styles, who will both be high draft picks next year, they were just sitting off to the side on a bench and just hanging out with Patricia. And it struck me that's what Bill's not doing at North Carolina. And like Matt has adapted to the job of the college coach, which is like requires you to build those sorts of relationships because the kids are 18, 19, 20 years old. And it just struck me that like Patricia was doing a way better job of adapting because of who he is to the job in Columbus than Bill is doing of adapting to his job in North Carolina.
Okay, then, but DeAndre Swift or Golden Tate told us this. Like
Darius Slay had the story.
Or Darius Slay, rather, not Golden Tate. It was Darius Slay. I got the two names wrong. He said, Patricia, first meeting, the team hated him. Mm-hmm. He alienated the Detroit press. I mean, he was a dick, Bert, and that's objectively.
He was. No, I mean, like, trust me.
You sit up when you talk to me. Like, get the F out of here, you loser.
The story, like, he went in there, and this is a mistake that, like, he's not the only former Bill.
Sure. And,
former
you know,
Bill assistant, but this mistake is, like, this is, like, their first team meeting, he went in and showed bad film of everyone. And, like, a couple of the guys who are, like, accomplished pros are like, what the hell was that?
Yeah. He also put his rings on the
and so, like, there's stuff he did they're totally stuff he did that made mistakes. And, like, I think, like...
he's not the only one. Stalin wasn't the only one.
Good. All right, but here's an example.
That's immediately where you
here's
go.
An example. But here's an example of what I meant.
Tantamount to football Stalinism.
Okay, so you guys would agree that like what happened with him in Philly. What happened with him in Philly wasn't very good. Like the year he was in Philly, where he took over as defensive coordinator at the end of the year, didn't end very well, right?
Right.
I don't even remember.
Okay,
that.
so like he came in as a senior defensive assistant. That was the year they started 10-1. They collapsed down the stretch. They fired their defensive coordinator, or demoted their defensive coordinator. Had Patricia call a defense that he wasn't familiar with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody would think like, okay, like, well, that didn't end well, so he's probably persona non grata there. On the Saturday before the Super Bowl, the day before the Super Bowl, I was at the Eagles team hotel. I was behind the ropes. I had a meeting with Lurie for a story I was working on. And you know who I saw like behind the ropes at the Super Bowl? Was Matt Patricia. A year after everything had gone wrong, like he's being invited. Like
he has no shame, is what you're saying.
No, but I know all I'm saying is like
They
the
just
guy
spent the 20 minutes with him, so now they get it.
All I would say is like I just think he's a different person than people think, and I think like when he was in Detroit, I think he carried himself in a way that wasn't really him, and he was being that's all I was saying. That's all I was saying.
And I guess to Bert's point, the only time I'm
not blaming anybody for having that perception because
well, it's not a perception; it's the reality.
If you were a Lions player, that was reality, right?
The only time I ever spoke with him
media
was in Miami before the Super Bowl, and it was right before he took over as the Lions head coach, and he sat down with us on Radio Row, and it was one of the most enjoyable conversations with somebody like at that level that I've had and we've had. I mean, he was really good. He is like a very like charming, friendly guy when you talk to him. And that wasn't even 20 minutes. That was more like 12.
And that was like
you're not even in his back pocket because he's at your alma mater that you insist upon.
But I think like that's why the disconnect. Like I felt that way about Josh too. I honestly I think Josh like. You would hear some of the stories from Denver and even like some of the stuff from Vegas, like, whoa, like that doesn't sound like the person I know.
Wow.
Like, and I think it's like, it's just one of these things that
about
happens.
That Dahmer.
Flores was like Flores in Miami. Like some of the stories you heard about Flores in Miami.
It was horrible. Yeah.
It was awful. And it was, and I heard some stuff like, oh my God. And it just did not line up with the guy that I knew, and like, or the guy that like, if you talk to Patriots players, like talk to the McCourties about Brian Flores, you would like if you like they would if they heard the stuff, and one of them was with him in Miami. It's just like sometimes these things happen when guys become head coaches. If you think you have to carry yourself a certain way, maybe you don't.
I got one Bert last question.
Because the most important thing is like as you guys know, the most important thing in that job is that you are yourself. And if you're not being yourself, pro football players have a BS meter like you wouldn't believe, and they'll see right through it, and you're
within
done.
the first 10 minutes. We've talked about Keep Talib has told us.
Okay, we don't have time for it. Everyone's
we have a blast.
But we're going to do the blast. Just I'll tell you, I was at the Monday night game, the first game that he coached. Jets won.
Sammy D
threw a pick six his first pass. I went to a bar afterwards. Patricia was on TV this after his first game, and they were serving cans of beer, and just cans of beer. Even the bartenders were throwing cans of beer at the TV. He alienated the press, the team, and the fans in the course of one preseason.
The bar owner was breaking his own TV.
I swear to God, no one told anyone to stop.
Led you guys to Dan Campbell, though.
I'm not even a Lions fan, really. So, like, what is it to me?
But you have a hat.
I really like the hats. No one wears Lions hats, and that's kind of my what is it? Defiance. I like that
oppositional defiance.
I love
disorder.
that no one wears Lions hats. Like no one.
Yeah,
so that's why I got
cool
a bunch
one,
of.
though. That's
Thank you. I like them.
All right, quickly here.
Time to come death, the destroyer of worlds.
Burt Blast.
Has your win total prediction for the Patriots changed? And if so, what is it now?
I said 8 to 9. I would say 9 over 8 now. So maybe a little bit. Like I think.
Burt Blast.
I would say.
Fell in the lake.
That sounds like something else, actually.
Who?
Let's end it there. I think we should end it there.
All right, let's end it there. All right, we will be back in just a moment. Bert, thank you so much.
Thanks,
everyone, read him on MMQB. We'll be back in just a moment.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Head in, tons of chicken and a flaky.
Dutcher and Artie. You can watch us on YouTube, the 98.5 The Sports Hub. Search that and then subscribe to the channel. Or listen to us on radio or in podcast form. Any way you want to. It's all good with us. It's fine. As long as you're just consuming our content. Over and over again. Blind Scott said he has like 85 radios on at the same time, but the thing is that he goes, I could watch your YouTube videos 10,000 times. Having a bunch of radios on at the same time doesn't do anything, Scott. If you want to watch your YouTube videos 10,000 times, that helps a lot.
That would help a ton.
That would help a lot. He's on hold. He's hearing me.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. We'll just check in. Scott, you hearing me?
Yeah, I could hear you. Yeah.
You going to do that 10,000 views?
Yeah, I'll do that all weekend as soon as the show's over.
All right, thank you. That's all I need to know, is that you're on the case.
Just make sure you're there. Make sure you're helping.
But before we get to this, if you're going to a football game this year with two of your pals.
You're really going to watch the video 10,000 times in a row?
Yeah. We get credit for that.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter who's watching it.
Then we get in the algorithm, and
he's blind.
There are no limits.
Yeah, he can watch it all he wants.
Yeah.
He's blind. What's it matter to him? So if you're going, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag because I don't think I'm going to do this because I don't have two friends. But if you go to a football game with two of your buddies, I got a pretty good costume. It's a 3-person costume, though.
Okay.
One person will be holding feces. The other person next to him, to his right, will just have the letter A on his shirt. And the person next to him will be a ghost. Any idea who they will be? I will not make this a long exercise. Cam Scattaboo. Thank you, John. I held that through the whole Breer thing.
I hate that guy so much. I'm so
well, he
happy.
had 3 touchdowns last night, Johnny. They were electric touchdowns.
He's going to be a god in New York if he's not already. God,
Bert was saying that he's not the greatest guy. I'll tell you. Yeah, that was annoying. He's
already annoying. We're 5 games in.
Well, they asked the Giant players, "What do you think about him?" And they're like, "What do you want us to do? Tell him to shut up?" Like, and they were, I think, like it's Grant Williams. I think he's Grant Williams.
Yeah,
that's a very good comparison.
Like, there's Dion, like, with an electric, charismatic personality. They talk a lot. There's a lot of those guys. Like,
and there's being good.
Well,
that helps.
Take all that off the table. This is just personal.
Right.
Like people you want to be around. If there's someone who's charismatic and like loud and fun, like that's someone you want to be around. There's a big difference between that and then someone who just talks a lot and is annoying in a big self-promoter in a bad way. You got to have charisma and stuff like that. I don't know if he has that. It's like there's a try-hard element that I don't care for.
He's trying so hard to be charismatic.
Like,
man.
you can't do that. Like, part of it is, like, you can't try hard. There has to be a natural swagger.
If you gain 3 yards, get up and breathe heavy and put your hands on your hips. That tends to alienate people.
I'm not positive you can be 5'9" and run almost a 5'6" 40 and be that way either. Like, that Dion was, one of the great athletes to ever play. And he's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. All right. What are we doing here, Adam, for the next 10 minutes?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I pulled together Rotten Tomatoes. They went ahead and polled a bunch of their critics.
Right.
They put together a list that I quizzed you on of the best television programs of the last 25 years. And you guys hit that one out of the park. And the list was good, too. I think you got like 20 of the 25 without needing a lot of hints and all that. They've done the same with the best 25 Critics' Choices 25 films
9 to 5
of the last 25 years. And it is the opposite. This list is garbage.
Hard Body.
Oh.
And I'm going to be curious to see if you've even
Malibu
seen
Express.
half of the films on this list.
All right.
How many of them have full frontal nudity?
Well, just Bad Lieutenant. So I'm gonna.
That's not the last one.
I couldn't get through that. It was just,
That's a tough movie to watch.
I just thought it was boring, kind of. All right, go ahead.
All right, so I'd like you. Okay, again, this is a critic-generated list, so you're filtering it through film critics, movie nerds,
Which are getting less and less like you have to be from somewhere. If you go to Rotten Tomatoes and look at reviews, it will be like guy with website.
Seriously.
Yes.
Remember we used to have a guy in a Hawaiian shirt in here called Movie Bob?
Yeah.
There are dozens of Movie Bobs that are helping Rotten Tomatoes with this list.
It's like I think it's important to have critics to curate stuff. Like I think it helps advance art.
Certainly.
But I really do. And a good critic, I think, is like, someone who curates and has good taste and reflects that to the public is a valuable thing. Some people insult it. I think it's a good thing. But, I mean, there has to be a certain amount of, like, juice behind it. Like, if you're just some guy and you didn't have to do anything to get it, the Rotten Tomato ratings, then who cares if it's just a bunch of people that just started going to movies?
So this is a try-hard list? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, it is and it isn't. There's a few on here. That's why I want you to start by throwing out a few guesses to see if we can knock some off, and then I'll quiz you on, like, the top 10.
All right, so the
Van Wilder.
No, that is not on.
So the best movies of the last 25 years.
Best movies of the last 25 years.
Okay.
The Rotten Tomatoes critics-generated list.
Okay, so there's the one that everybody loved. I saw it. It wasn't bad, but I don't understand why it was so great. Parasite.
Yes, that is number 2 on their list.
I never
Very
saw
good.
it.
Okay.
No Country for Old Men.
That is absolutely on the list. That is number 11.
La La Land. You mentioned it yesterday.
La La Land, thankfully, did not.
It didn't?
It was an Oscar.
Wow. It didn't?
No, it didn't. No, it's not on the list.
You know who hates that? Bret Easton Ellis hates that.
This
movie.
is a try-hard
Good, he
list.
should.
He's a gay guy. He said that I go, I don't like this movie.
Okay, but No Country for Old Men is a legit good movie, so it's not all tryhards. What about There Will Be Blood?
Yes, that is at number 12. Again, there are lists that are
How much?
Coming from where?
Where? Was Pulp Fiction around now? No.
Yeah.
No, but there is.
Pulp
That's a
Fiction
90s
counts.
movie. But
It is?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. So the last 25 years, they're doing
Inglourious
99
Basterds.
Yes, Inglourious Basterds
right.
is on the list. That's the one Tarantino film on this list at number
interesting.
21.
I got to imagine every movie that the Royal Tenenbaums guy did is on there.
Funny enough,
If
Fred.
Moonlight Kingdom is on there, throw the list away.
No, it's not on
Oh,
there.
the Coen brothers got to have 7 movies
The
on there,
Coen
too.
brothers, I believe, have a movie on here.
A Serious Man?
No,
Oh,
maybe.
Serious Man
All
was a
right.
good movie.
How about Get Out?
Get Out is on the list, John. Very good. That is number 13.
That's a good point.
Thanks for showing up, Wallach.
Is Barbie on there?
No. No,
Oh,
there's
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. No, not
that
on the
wasn't-
list.
that's-
All right, those are not on the
How
list.
about how about some of the action movies like, say, The Matrix? Is that on there?
Yes, The Matrix is
That's
on
from
the list,
this
John.
century?
That is very good. Because what I was
last
saying
one.
is, yes,
I never saw it.
1999 is kind of the cutoff list for this. So they're saying the last 25 years, they're counting 99 through 24.
Hold, please. Any of them?
No.
Okay, it's part of the zeitgeist.
Legit part of the zeitgeist.
Can I ask you something? This is a good place for this to go, because this is what these lists are for. They're to spark conversation.
Right.
Okay. And I'm not being sarcastic or cool. This is really something. Has any movie's concept been co-opted by more insane people and used in insane ways than The Matrix? Now, I've never seen it, but I know there's 2 pills of varying colors.
Yeah.
Blue and red.
Blue pill and the red pill.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure which one does which, but I know you can take one and like be like an automaton, and you can take one and like see how things really are, right? That's basically the gist
correct.
of it.
Yes. That's correct.
You've been blue pilled or whatever the hell the thing is from a bunch of morons that think they know everything because they sit in a bubble on some 4chan chat. Like, no, I won't see The Matrix. And it wasn't their intention, and I'm sure it's a good movie. It's science fiction-y, so I don't really have a desire to see it. That's why I didn't see it. But now I push against it.
Now you're
because now that's become part of the like our vernacular.
Well, you make an excellent point. That is, you could argue that's co-opted the legacy of the film, because the film's legacy was always that it was this kind of groundbreaking science fiction, and the special effects at the time were very cutting edge.
And sure, the message of like what's like our perceptions and what's really going on. I mean, it's a good premise, and it's a really brilliant idea. But it's just been co-opted to fit anyone's narrative. Like like a lift shift. I see. I
took the blue pill.
Anytime what they tell you, oh yeah, as opposed to you, who knows everything.
Yeah.
You get one thing
They cut it with seed oil.
You get. I don't mean. I don't mean to pick on him. I'm just joking. But the thing is that it goes in line with that. They like I know like this need to know and be an expert about everything, and everyone else is wrong. It drives me insane, and the reason it exists is because now with the internet, you can just surround yourself with like-minded people, and then when you do that, you just narratives get out of control, and then the attacking people. Forget it. So I won't see The Matrix.
Okay.
Huh.
All right, so we don't have the Coen Brothers movie yet.
I don't know that there is one. I'll get
he doesn't know anything about movies. He's sitting there like an idiot. He doesn't even know what's on.
Inside Llewellyn Davis is that?
It's a porno.
Okay. That's I thought. So that is the one Coen Brothers film.
There's a lot of stuff.
Check that. That's one of theirs that I have not seen, but that is number 13 on the list.
You would like it. There's a cat in it.
I like cats.
I know you do.
Yeah.
How about Kill Bill? Is that on the list?
No, we got the one
Tarantino
the one Tarantino and Glorious
that's right. You
Bastards.
did say Tarantino.
All right, let's I'll quiz you on some of the top choices here. Are
the Boston movies on there?
Oh, The Departed.
No, they are not. Again, this is a critics list. So
no, I know, but those were Oscar nominated.
Think of my favorite. Oh,
David
filmmaker.
Lynch.
Yeah. So which one of his films made it onto the list at number 3?
No idea.
Oh, it's the one about the road, the
Mulholland Drive.
Mulholland Drive.
Absolutely right. That is the number 3 song.
All right.
The number 3 movie.
I keep meaning to see that.
Don't. It will infuriate you. I'm serious. Like, watch.
Why would that infuriate me?
It's because it's
Blue Velvet's too scary.
Blue Velvet's disturbing, but Blue Velvet's a really interesting film to watch. Lost Highway is frustrating.
It bothered me, so that's he succeeded. Like he got a reaction, a very powerful reaction, which is the whole point.
Oh wait a minute, I'm playing. Which we're talking about.
You're playing. Just who cares? Only you care.
I'm just trying to think for a second about. No, I guess Mulholland Drive you're better off with than Lost Highway. I don't know.
I'm not seeing either one.
Which film that actually? Let's see if you can guess the number 1 film. Which?
Oh yeah, because Parasite was number 2.
Right.
Okay.
So this one's from 2019.
It's not the Carrot Top.
And it is an action film.
Chairman of the board.
Action film.
An action film from 2019 made it as the number 1 film.
So it's not Old Boy.
Is it a superhero film?
It is not, but there was one superhero film on the list.
Avengers: Age of Ultron.
No, it is an Avengers standalone film made it to 24.
It's the one Fantastic Four.
The Avengers.
Oh wait, Avengers movie made the time.
I'm saying one of the members of the
Iron
Avengers.
Man.
No, it's not Iron Man.
Black Panther.
There
you go.
Black Panther, absolutely.
Yeah. That's very loosely.
All right. Action movie.
How is that an Avengers movie? Is he an Avenger?
In the end, he is.
Oh, so there's just everyone jams in there. Okay.
Yep. Spider-Man's in there. Yep. Black Panther's in there.
They're all Avengers.
They're
Okay.
all in there.
So what's the hint on the number 1 film?
It is an action film released in 2015. Directed by George Miller, and the shoot was fraught with problems, so much so that the star would not be cast in the sequel that was really a prequel.
Okay, that really doesn't narrow it down at all.
So it's not. So they're giving Alex Baldwin an award for killing the guy.
Rust.
It's
not the Old Boy.
No, I said Old Boy. The Spike Lee Old Boy was terrible.
It is a continuation of a franchise that started in the 1970s, became popular in the 80s, and then was away until 2015. Action film.
Not a James Bond.
Oh, no, Fast and Furious.
Desert setting.
God, no.
Mad Max.
No.
Mad Max. Fury Road.
Oh,
Mad Max.
That didn't start in the
Number
1. 70s, but it started in the early 80s.
I think the first. I thought the first one was 79.
Oh, you might. I don't think you're right, but you might be. I'm not going to die on that hill. Okay. That's insanity. I bought so at my parents' house because they would never figure out how to stream anything in their theater room, which is I'm sure you all have that problem. So, but I mean, they live in East Tennessee. It's not the hardest thing to build. It's not the greatest area in the world. So they, it ain't Boston, with the house prices. So, but they only had a DVD player. So before we would go on vacation, I would go to Amazon and I'd buy an ass load of DVDs, which ain't easy. And so I would have them so we could watch them. I bought it, so I have the tactile like I have it, like I'm holding it. I bought it, so all those things that would make it. I'm not streaming it.
Right.
I put it in. I turn it on. There's no dialogue. It's just fire and garbage, and it's just a pile of crap. That's a movie. That's what's wrong. That's a movie where the narrative and the dialogue and none of that matters. It's just like, it looks cool. Well, what are we doing here? Then go see Chris Angel.
But no, you see, Fred, they live in a world where fuel is at a premium. So what do? They put a guy on top of a truck who has fires shooting out of his guitar that's fueled by fuel, where it's at a premium.
What was the name of the bad guy in that one?
I don't know.
Lord what?
Emotin' Joe was the
I watched it once. I'm like, it's not awful, but it's not the best movie the last 25 years, not by a damn sight.
I started watching it, and I watched a half an hour of it, and I'm like, nothing's happening. It's just all fire and crap. Like, I'm sure that everyone's enjoying the desert setting and all
fire and the crap.
Yeah, like it just was. I'm like, I don't care about anything that's happening.
I think Tina Turner was in one of the sequels.
Yes, that was Beyond Thunderdome.
Okay,
yeah, I mean that was a great
2 men in or 1 man.
1 man.
Leaves.
That's right.
Yes.
Master Blaster. Classic.
All right, very good. Everyone loves.
Thank you, John.
Everyone loves that film. Out of all the films, what an ode to filmmaking and writing a script and having any kind of acting. The acting in that was brilliant. The way that they went. Ugh! I really didn't like that movie.
I watched it for Tom Hardy. That's why I watched it. But you can't even tell it's him.
Because you think he's going to put you in the next one like esoteric. All right, we will be back in just a moment. Bobby Beers, your Boston Bruins are 2-0.
Yeah.
We can talk to the expert about what's going on in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, those.
Boston 2-0. Back-to-back wins on back-to-back days. Obviously back-to-back wins, but back-to-back days. Very exciting fashion. Korpisalo last night in overtime, just electric.
Unbelievable.
And
twice. Unbelievable.
Sturm after the game said we had no game in overtime, but it was an electric goaltending performance in overtime. Fun game to watch. Bob Beers is, of course, one of the voices of the Boston Bruins on this very station as we carry all the Boston Bruins games along with Ryan Johnston, who had a nationally covered overtime goal call that has gone. People are going crazy
They're
about
going
it.
bananas over your call.
Bob's not on it, so don't give him.
He has to get out of the way.
But he's there.
He's sitting there. That's
he's
true.
certainly there, but he's underappreciated in that clip. I can tell you that. Bob Beers, thank you for joining us, sir.
Good morning, guys. How we doing?
We are doing well. Thank you for joining us. How was the off season?
The off season was fantastic, as it always is. A little longer than I'd hoped for, but rather have a little playoffs at the beginning of it. But so ready to get back at it now.
All right. I always ask you: is the tan is very good right now? I would assume.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It was a good summer.
Yeah, Bob.
It was a good summer.
It was. It was a good summer for tanning.
Yeah, they'll get back from like a Midwest trip.
Yeah,
and Bob, and then I would like.
Well, we're going to Vegas next week.
Oh, baby!
On the off occasion that I would see Bob Beersley at some event or something, and Bob would be very tan, and I'd be like, "You were just in like Winnipeg, Chicago, and Detroit. I don't know how this happened." But
I think I've asked you this before, Bob. Time for golf when you're in Vegas?
Yeah, there is, but I'm kind of on the DL, Hardy. I had some surgery on my wrist, or on my thumb, I should say, and I'm not able to play this year.
This year? Wow.
I waited till late September to have it done because I wanted to get golf season in, so I had to forego, playing in Vegas.
Oh man,
Hardy, what would you do
right?
if you had to go a year without golf? How would you handle that? No paddle.
Well, it's not a year. It's just a couple of weeks.
Well, I'm talking Hardy. Oh, I thought you said a year. This year.
Oh no, golf this on the trip.
Not on this trip. Not on this trip.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that is a better question. If I had to go a year, I think I would be even more miserable to be around. I mean, I don't have much in my life, but I have that.
Bob,
more miserable?
Yeah.
Yeah, more miserable than he
More
already
than
is.
usual?
Yeah, it's hard to imagine. All right, Bob, what are you seeing out of this Bruins team? Like, you're an expert in this. Like, what is the style of play? How is it different than last year? Like, just in terms of, I guess, philosophy.
Well, I mean, so 2 games is a very small sample size, right? But, the win in Washington was impressive. That was a good road win. They did a lot of good things against the Capitals. It wasn't perfect, but they did a lot of good things against Washington. They made it hard for them to kind of get good scoring chances. And I think yesterday, playing back-to-back, Chicago's sitting here waiting for them. Now, Chicago's probably not as good as Washington, but it wasn't as efficient yesterday. I think the good thing about yesterday was that you didn't count on your top line to do everything, which they did against the Capitals offensively, right? It was Pastrnak with 3 points. Lindholm and Geekie both had 2 points against the Capitals. Yesterday, it was everybody else, right? I mean, I know Lindholm had a goal. It was a power play goal, but you get Jeannot chipping in with his first goal. You get Fraser Minton in overtime with a goal like that. So you got other lines contributing yesterday, and you had to do it with 5 defensemen because Hampus Lindholm got hurt early in the game. So you got big performances. I thought McAvoy had a great game yesterday. He wasn't on the score sheet, but really controlled when he was out there. And that's what you're going to need from somebody like him. It's just so good to have him back. Hopefully Hampus Lindholm injury isn't too serious. We'll find out more about that later. But and you've gotten 2 good goaltending performances. Swayman in game 1 was excellent, and Korpisalo, when the game was on the line in overtime, as you guys were referencing, he made 2 fantastic saves to give the Bruins a chance to win that game.
Let's start with Swayman. What's the biggest difference now as opposed to last season that you've seen?
Training camp.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, you don't have the weight of, negotiating a contract over your head. You're here, he went to the World Championships last year after the season was over. The teams that don't make the playoffs get players that go to the World Championships. He went 7-0 in the World Championships, and the USA won the gold medal for the first time in 90 years. And so, I think that just coming into this year just fresh and ready to go and just new attitude, not attitude, I shouldn't say that. He's always had a good attitude, but just having a good start out of the gate. It was a better training camp this year. Last year was a little disjointed. They played 7 games. They had to go to Quebec City towards the end, and it never seemed like they had any practice time. This year was a better camp. It just was. And whether that's, Marco Sturm coming in and putting his stamp on it, or whether it's, they're just a conscious effort to make sure that they had a better camp and were more. I would hope that some of the guys that were here last year have a little chip on their shoulder about the way that the season went. I'd like to think that. And they know that because of so many games in a short amount of time to start the season, you have to have a good start. You can't afford to get behind it. And so far, so good, right? 2-2, and it wasn't perfect yesterday, but they'll take it. You got to win some ugly games too.
Corpusalo was tremendous, especially in overtime. What is your early call on how Marco Sturm is going to divide up the starts between the two goaltenders?
Well, Corpusalo was pretty vocal last year after the season was over. He wanted to play a little bit more, and I don't blame him. They wanted to get Swayman going last year, and they were kind of. That was a really difficult situation that they were in with him being out all of training camp and then wanting him to get the reps to get him going. And the team was never on the same page. It was kind of an ugly year, and it snowballed and it got in the wrong direction, and they could never get out of it. So to answer your question, I think with so many games, 13 games in 23 days to start the season, I mean, Swayman's probably he's going to get the majority of it, but it's going to be a little bit more, it's not going to be 50-50, but it's going to be a little bit more weighted towards Corpusalo getting some more starts here, especially this first month, and we'll see kind of how it goes. And then some of it will be performance, dictated by performance. If somebody's struggling or somebody's really going, then you might run with them a little bit more. But, Swayman's going to get the majority of it. But I do think that Corpusalo is going to be more involved than maybe he was last season.
Bob, what's one area where you see a lot of improvement already just through 2 games? Is it special teams? Is it the?
Well, that's high up on the list, Harvey. Definitely. Okay. They've killed all the penalties, right? They've I don't know how many they took yesterday, but they were 5 for 5 against Washington on the penalty kill. I don't believe they didn't allow a power play goal yesterday, and then they've scored 2 power play goals in 2 games. They had a 5-on-3 yesterday. The first part of that, a 5-on-3 towards the end of the second period, was a little ugly.
Oof, yeah.
And then it was not a little ugly. It was ugly.
Yeah.
And then but they came out with the third period with purpose, and they scored. It only took them 20 seconds or whatever it was. I don't know what the exact number was, but they scored right away in the third period. On the power play, and that's a huge goal. I mean, that gives them the lead. It's the special teams have been far better so far. It's like I said, really small sample size, but the special teams have been far better. You got a huge penalty kill from, and you were already shorthanded, right? So McAvoy gets a penalty in the third period, which was a ridiculous penalty call, but he's in the box, and guys like Peak and Zadorov step up on the back end and do a great job defensively, and forwards too. Don't get me wrong, but you're already shorthanded on the back end, so Peak and Zadorov are going to have to play the majority of that PK, and they do a fantastic job with it.
Okay, Bob, 2 games in, but you could have answered this before the beginning of the season. What is a realistic expectation for this team this season? Is it the playoffs? Is it it's being a mid seed in the playoffs? What is a reasonable expectation?
For me right now, I mean, I think playing meaningful games in March and April. And so, in other words, having a chance at the playoffs. Being whether it's the top 3 in the Atlantic, which automatically gets you in, or whether it's a wild card spot. I think that's a realistic expectation right now. Hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully they're, comfortably in. But, going into the season, health is a big factor. You lose Lindholm yesterday. I don't know what the seriousness of it is, but having Lindholm and McAvoy miss the majority of games the way that they did last year, it's just that's not a realistic expectation. You have to have good goaltending. The competitiveness has to be better than it was last year, and so far so good on that. And the special teams, as we referenced earlier, has to be way better. They were in the bottom 5 or 10 in both penalty killing and power play last season, and that has to be better. And so far it has been. But goaltending, team defense, compete level, and health, has to be there. So big question mark for Hampus Lindholm after yesterday. We'll wait and see. But that's if those things are good, you're going to have a chance at the playoffs.
All right, Bob, it's always a pleasure talking to you, sir. We do appreciate it. And a great start to the season. Thank you so much. Hopefully we can talk to you a few more times as this goes on. We appreciate it.
You got it, guys. Thanks.
All right,
Bob.
there you go. The great Bob Beers joining us. 2-0, a lot better than last year. They got things going in the right direction. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins won again last night, 4-3 over Chicago in overtime at TD Garden. Frazier mint the game winner in extra time. Bruins are 2-0. They host Buffalo tomorrow night, but as we were just talking about, Hampus Lindholm left in the first period last night with a lower body injury and did not return. Celtics continue their preseason tonight with a game in Toronto. Grandy and Max have the call at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots will be in New Orleans Sunday. Jalen Hawkins, Keon White, and Anthony Jennings are missing from practice yesterday. The New York Giants beat Philadelphia 34-17, and former Red Sox outfielder Mike Greenwell died yesterday of thyroid cancer at the age of 62. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Veterinary Urgent Care Center. With 8 locations in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, VUCC offers compassionate, convenient, high-quality care 7 days a week. Walk in or book an appointment at veturgentcare.com. Veterinary Urgent Care Center, urgent care for your pet's urgent needs. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9 o'clock.
More Toucher and Hardy. wherever you get your apps today. Half toucher.
Dressed like a gorilla.
Half Hardy.
A big, beautiful ball of flame.
And a whole lot of Boston sports.
And I have had many offers to become an insider. Christian Gonzalez was limited for Thursday's practice, that it was the same hamstring that had been injured before. The defense has been markedly better since his return, and it can't be a coincidence. Everyone that's watched it said he was great in the second half against Buffalo. Like it allows them to do so much. What do you think, John?
It was a weird thing yesterday. First, you had Andrew Callahan and Mike Reese and Mark Daniels and all the guys that are there every day saying, well, during the media portion of practice, Christian Gonzalez really didn't spend a lot of time with his team. They stretched with them, but once they got into actual work, he went over to the side of the field. This can't be good. The inference was this can't be good. He's not with his teammates. He's doing individual work on the side. And so for about 2 hours in there, those people that are on social media and looking for things like this are like, oh, my God, Gonzalez is hurt again. What the defense is going to take a step back. And this is right after Buffalo and crazy. It just so happened that the Patriots defensive assistants met the media after practice. And the cornerbacks coach, whose name escapes me, basically told the media this was a predetermined path, that Gonzalez was supposed to spend time away. This is part of his, not return to play, but they built a special program for him to warm up a different way to get him ready for the main portion of practice. Technically, he was limited because he spent time away from the main group for a while, but it's all part of a plan. Now, whether you believe that or not, I don't know.
Why would they lie?
I don't know.
No, seriously, I don't know why you would lie about
Some
that.
kind of competitive advantage that I don't see. I don't know. I don't know why he would lie.
And this might sound naive, but can you lie?
No, he technically was limited. Limited could be anything. Limited could be 5% of the work or 95% of the work.
No, not limited. You can't. I know you can't lie with that, but could you lie about the reason he was limited?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure you can.
So you could,
as long as it's a hamstring. Yes, we admit it's a hamstring, but the reason for this, you can lie about that.
Okay. That's going to make him. Well, I take it they're not lying. I would be almost positive they're not lying, and I'm not going to debate that. But the thing is that that doesn't do him any favors if he doesn't play.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And if my advice to coaches when they're talking about injured players or non-injured players is to not suggest they aren't injured, because then if they are and don't play, you know what's coming. Now, if you say a guy is, he tweaked it a little bit, then if he doesn't play, you go, okay, I was prepared for this. But if they tell you that, oh no, this has always been the plan, and then they don't play, that's why I don't think there's any reason that it wouldn't be true.
And based on the injury, I don't think he was on the injury report last week. He sure wasn't.
He wasn't.
On Friday,
the
Friday before the game in Buffalo, he wasn't. So this is, however you spin it, a step back in some way, shape, or form.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's something there. To what extent are they being cautious? Are they being careful just because of the injury report, all that stuff? But yeah, at the end of it, John, I think that's it. It's not good for somebody who they were being careful with to begin with to now have them limited in any way. There's no way of feeling good about it.
That's the thing that more than most good teams could sink this team is any injuries at important positions.
Yeah, because you don't have, especially in the Patriots case, you have zero depth.
Yeah, and
in any of these positions.
And so you go, yeah, Fred, it's obvious if people get hurt, it's not good. Yeah, but every team has players that get hurt. The Patriots are going to have players that get hurt. Gibson's are out for the year.
Right.
But Gibson's your third back. They especially, more than most teams that are good, cannot afford to lose players because there is not that depth there.
Something else we found out yesterday that it hurts the Patriots in a significant way is Gibson was a kick returner. And one thing we found out yesterday, and I hadn't thought about it, is kick returning is much different this year. You need a different kind of athlete back there because now you're not just letting the ball go in the end zone.
We talked about that on Monday.
You're taking hellacious shots trying to. So if you have a smaller guy returning kicks, he may not be able to last back there.
We talked about this on Monday. So you got two guys back on kick return. Travion Henderson's one of them. No one's ever going to kick to him. So unless you can find someone better, and that's not happening. So. Would you put Marcus Jones back there?
He's done it before, I think, but I would. I mean, he's obviously got great skill in the open field.
Well, where did you get that idea?
But honestly, he doesn't fit the new mold that the special teams coach was talking about.
You have to be a little bit bigger.
A little bit bigger to be able to withstand the shots you're taking on these returns.
So it's an interesting question because. As we did discuss this on Monday, these kicks have become a whole thing because now the kickers can make. I'm complaining about it again. Now the kickers can make 65-yard field goals with some regularity. You get that ball up to the 40, you get that ball up to the 37. The offense doesn't have to do anything, and you could win or tie a close game. And all of these NFL games for the most part have been close. Like I think I just read something about the amount of close games and how it's positively affected ratings. And
as much as you might not like the reason for it, the NFL is thrilled with it. The fact that people can't now they're being conditioned to where you can't turn off a 2 or even a 3-score game midway through the fourth quarter because, well, it happened last week and the week before.
It's a different argument because of course you like that. That's football. What I don't like, and it doesn't change anything because you're watching anyway, is with 35 seconds left in the game, a team goes up by 3 or ties a game, and then they kick off, and the ball's returned to the 36, and then the offense barely has to do anything, and they get one timeout or they spike the ball.
But I think that's a function of the kickers and how important it is now. I don't
like that.
Well, I don't think that's football 12 years ago.
No, it's
10.
not.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
But the NFL loves it.
No, two different things. Close games they love. Being able to win the game with a 65-yard kick, I don't think is good. It's not football. It's not why people watch.
You just hate kickers.
Well, you know that. You know what happened to me as a child at kicking camp. No, I don't particularly love field goals. Like, it's not something that I wanted. The comeback by John Elway wasn't 12 yards. Like, you got it. Like, what you remember from these comebacks are these every Brady thing. It wasn't like, wow, he picked up 15 yards in 40 seconds.
My point in saying is in the NFL loves it is to try and to get you to come to grips with the fact that no matter how much you don't like it, they're not going to change it.
Oh, okay. Well, that probably is true because I am why everything happens everywhere. Yes.
They do. I think the NFL likes
magical thinking.
It's not going to change.
I'm not
banging on your high chair tray is not going to change the NFL's mind on this.
If you're asking me to change my having fits over things and to stop when I can't get my way, I'm
Cheerios flying all over the kitchen.
It's gonna be a cold day.
That's every
when you're
morning,
in hell.
man. Like, come on, we've been sitting in here for long enough.
I'll throw my water at you if I didn't think it was going to break that $1 million computer. All right, look, listen, different strokes for different folks. I don't particularly like it. The new kickoff rule doesn't bother me. It's just at the end of the game, it just is ridiculous. It's preposterous. And I don't think it's good for football. It's like the halftime show. When are they going to have a rock band?
I don't know, Eddie Trunk. I can't answer that. I'm sorry.
There's going to be a...
there wasn't even an instrument on stage.
This is a real thing. So Turning Point, the organization, is going to have a counter... halftime show.
I saw this.
And the first name floated, and this was in the news, I'm not making it up, was Creed, which is just cool. Like, I mean, if you really wanted to go up against, like, a very popular artist, and you want to really get to the kids, float Creed up there.
Yeah.
That's got a lot of like when my producer, who's a good friend of mine, was super religious. They used to watch the Super Bowl at church so they could not watch the commercials. That the Creed halftime show's got a big vibe of that, and no one's more with God than Scott Stapp. I mean, he has lived a life very very pious life. Caller number 10 to the contest line. 617, because if at least Lee Greenwood, like, you get it, like, all right, like, it's like Hooray America. Creed's just a crappy band that has nothing to do with America. Caller number 10 to the contest, it's just so lame. Caller number 10 to the contest line, 617-931-0985, will win a pair of tickets to Witches Woods and a $50 gift card to the Outlook Restaurant, Witches Woods Haunted Hayride and Halloween Scream Park and the Neshoba Valley Ski Area. Visit okay, so I'll just do this. witchswoods.com. I think that's better for more info. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Oh, big news down the Cape.
All right. We are Toucher and Hardy. We are in the Town Fair Tire Studios. Kendra Middleton, as always, is here in studio on a Friday. Hi, Kendra. Everyone's already talked to you, but hello.
I know. I've already made Wallach mad.
Oh, yeah. You should have seen what she was saying about the old lady that died.
I know.
My
and I was
God.
saying, you really shouldn't say that about Sister Jean. That isn't nice.
So I heard Kendra on the air. Kendra Middleton, by the way, is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. I heard Kendra on the air with you. So I was like, there was a warm up of the game in Fort Myers, and I was listening to the station because I didn't want to listen to a booker. I shouldn't explain it. I listened to the show, and I thought you guys did a great job. And I'm listening, and Kendra's like, she's making a reference to 9/11, but it's not a joke or anything dismissive. The statement was. What was the statement? If you can't, you're a millennial if you can't remember 9/11.
No. You're a millennial if you can. You're Gen Z if you can't.
So the whole thing was like, what generation are you? And so she was making the point, you're a millennial if you can remember 9/11, and you're Gen Z if you can't. And so here's advice. I knew you were going to say 9/11. You're using it in a perfectly fair context. It's a historical event that happened. You're not saying anything controversial at all about it. You're only making a statement about on 9/11 of 2001.
I just don't want to.
There was a tragedy. Don't do that. So it's ridiculous. First of all, John, you not knowing it was 9/11 is outstanding to me.
I don't remember anything.
So it's she goes.
I don't remember.
She
this.
goes. They're like, what's the difference between a millennial and a Gen Z? So that was the conversation.
Yeah.
And she's like, well.
I said that there was like a major historical
She was
event.
like, there was like a major historical event, and if you can remember
in the
it,
early 2000s.
and it's like what, like, you know, someone in some South American country like became president. Like, obviously it's 9/11. So John's like, what? And then and she's like, I don't know if I can say it. I'll get in trouble. The only thing is that at this date, if you remember this terrible event, you were of a certain generation, like the Kennedy assassination.
Right.
Like even the OJ verdict, which is not obviously on the same realm.
Challenger disaster.
The Challenger disaster. Like these are things that happen that are landmarks in time. In fact, you're giving it great gravity because you're using it as the benchmark.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it's kind of an honorable thing that you're doing. If anything, if you were going to read anything into it. So she's like, I don't know if I can say it. And John's like, what is it? And Joe's like, what is it? It's 9, and I'm like, oh my God, it's 9/11, and I'm like, why is she just not saying it? And why do these two not know what the hell she's talking about? It was so frustrating. So then these geniuses turn off the mics. Adam, you were here. Why didn't you say it was 9/11? You weren't paying attention back during it, were you?
Sorry, what?
Exactly.
Yeah, he's eating one of them hand-picked apples. He can't be
at
bothered.
this time.
Oh,
at
did
this
you bring
time
them?
last week.
Wait, you were in last
Yes,
Friday.
he was
yes,
here.
Yes. No, I remember exactly what you're talking about.
Why the hell did that whole thing go down?
I had the exact same thought that you did at first, and I almost got in Kendra's ear and said, why aren't you just saying 9/11? But then the thought that I had was, this is very funny that she's not saying 9/11. So let's let this play out and kind of see what happens.
So these geniuses turn off the mics. It's then revealed, obviously, it was 9/11. Okay, here's something for everyone, including you. Things happened. Stating that they happened cannot, by definition, be offensive. 9/11 happened. The idea that you are of a generation that thinks you can't say 9/11 happened without some blowback is ludicrous. It's not a joke. Now, after 9/11, things went haywire in terms of radio. Like they pulling songs like weird. It was just weird. I get it. Like
no one knew how to react.
No one knew how to react, and I get it. And at the time, like it seemed odd, but it didn't seem like censorship or anything like that. It just seemed like no one knew what to do. Like no one wanted to make light of it in any way. So like, you know, look, it was horrible, and it was really the fall of this empire. So if we want to mark a date, 9/11 was maybe the fall of the American empire. But yeah, just in the future, historical events happened. as long as you're not making a joke about it or making light or saying something offensive about it.
I didn't know if that was offensive, though.
Oh.
How is saying 9/11?
I thought you just went through all this.
You just.
I'm saying I get it now, but at the time, I was like under the.
What's going on in the world?
That was like the last 6 minutes.
Because I grew up in a
Everyone
time
is
where
insane.
That
people get
part I was paying
offended.
attention to. That was
Everyone's insane.
6 minutes. Of,
You can't.
I'm sorry. Are you mad at me?
Of course, I'm not mad at you. I'm feeling paternalistic to you. I'm feeling almost
That's why
fatherly.
I'm like, are you mad at me?
Yeah, I just like.
I'm a people pleaser.
Well, how many times have we talked about like your radio career, like off air?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah. So I do feel I do root for you in radio. I do, and so I heard that and I was like, gee, I didn't want to text you or anything. I was like, Jesus Christ, Kendra, just say 9/11. My God. Because I think Kendra's talented, and I think she kind of gets screwed a little bit, and I would like to hear more of her. But nonetheless, it's a different voice. All right, so another thing she does that's very annoying is she insists upon Jacksonville.
I'm going home tomorrow.
Okay. And so now you'll remember Jacksonville. If you're unfamiliar with it, the city of Jacksonville released this song to get people to move there.
It's time for Jaguars football.
No, that's not it.
That's not it.
That's not it.
All right,
No.
I think I have the right one.
no.
It's gonna be a Jags day.
Nope.
No, that's not it.
either.
All right.
Nope.
No.
It has nothing to do
different-
with the Jaguars. It's a city council.
Senior
It's
citizens
senior
driven.
citizens.
Okay, because we
Seniors-
went through what's in the system, and then we even found stuff that's not. So you're saying it's like produced by the Jacksonville City of Commerce.
But
Yes.
it's old
Yeah, that's what I
people?
told you.
To
It's old
entertain
people.
tourism, they had senior citizens singing about how good Jacksonville is.
And there's a video, and it's
Yes.
like people like Jacksonville's a good place to die. You might as
Basically.
well die here.
Yeah.
They got great hospices. It was
We have a Mayo Clinic.
It was the least inspiring video to move anywhere. In fact, it seemed almost haunting in that it was just old people singing.
In Jacksonville.
No, it's got absolutely nothing to do
I'm
with
sending
the
12
Jaguars.
what I think it should be, but I don't know if we can play it on the air. Maybe we can use it as a replay.
I don't know. It maybe refers to a historical event, and Lord knows we couldn't play it. Maybe the Hindenburg is referenced, and I mean, Lord knows.
Well,
what
we
was
know
happening.
you're uncancelable. We don't know about me.
Oh, yes, certainly. I've never gotten in any trouble, Kendra. My career's gone up without an answer.
Totally not.
I've had people complaining about me on CNN.
He's had reporters outside his house. Are you kidding me?
Outside,
Trust me,
knocking on the door.
I'm not gonna. I remember the Disney ladies.
Oh, God. Oh, well, that was the biggest one of
Now
all
that's
of them.
something you
Was it?
can't. That's something you
No
can't
pun
say.
intended. No pun intended.
I bet you say 9/11 100 times over before you say that or even bring it up.
That was more ridiculous than anything else. That was not a thing. All right, so whatever with the song. I'll play it for you if we can find it.
Okay.
But Kendra insists on Jacksonville. Jacksonville, I've been there.
When were you there?
I went there for a Jets game when I lived in Atlanta or right after I moved here, so like in the 2000s.
I was gonna say Jacksonville wasn't really anything until probably like 2015.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot
That's what
happened
I'm
in
saying.
those
No,
9 years.
seriously
10
though.
years ago?
No,
Oh.
seriously though. I'm so serious. When I was a kid, nobody lived there. There was nothing to do. It was the hood. And now that they've
There was no hood. There was just emptiness.
and now that there's been like 15 years plus of, like a PGA tour stop, the Jags, that whole bit, like there's money in the city now.
Yeah, Hardy knows that. If you get a PGA Tour event, pretty much just, I mean, that's your tax.
well, yeah,
that's your
Jacksonville's
tax-
been
ticket.
That's your
Jaguars
tax
have been
nut
there
for the year.
30 years.
But
right?
that's what I'm saying is that like it took time for the team to be invested, for it to create jobs, for people to want to
Right.
move there, like things
the
like that.
PGA to come.
People like
Sure.
You know
Okay.
something? You keep saying that, and now I got to push back. Do you know
Yeah.
that the PGA
Here
Tour
we go.
does more in charitable donations than the four major sports combined?
Yeah,
and they
Fred.
it's probably
Yeah.
a financial windfall for the
Yeah.
city of Jacksonville and the surrounding
It's the
communities.
headquarters.
to
It's
have
the
a tour
PGA
event there.
headquarters.
The last time you brought up a golf charity, I got a real long email about how great it was. All right,
Yeah.
here we go. We have the Jacksonville song,
Oh,
We
good.
Believe. This is our last crack at it.
Yes, I think this is it. It's got this big intro and it's got the
I don't think this is it.
Hold on. You said it's got like old people dance around stuff, right?
Oh yeah, this is
Here we go.
Here we go. This is what Jacksonville made to move to Jacksonville. This was an
Yes, this is it.
You can hear how old they are. Like, there's no way these people are still alive, and they made this like 6 months ago. No, this. Don't you think, Kendra, this is an odd way to get people to move to a city by showing people so close to death?
Florida is heaven's waiting room, okay?
Well,
I think
there's
this
no
would
doubt about
encourage that demographic.
But this is trying to get things like the PGA Tour to come, and it's a series of senior citizens, and there's no one else in it. It's just senior citizens, like, trying not to fall in front of stuff.
Probably makes the old people feel welcome that are going to move there anyway.
But is that how to grow the economy, is to get a very aged?
I think you'd want younger people there to grow the economy.
I would agree with that,
Yeah.
but as a young person, I don't want to live in Florida.
I wonder if Big Cremation was behind this. Like there's some devious cremation guy who's got his hands in the city council.
I haven't heard 1 second of the song. You guys been talking over the entire thing.
I'm sorry, you're missing all the aesthetical beauty of it.
I think the only word is live in
Keep
Jacksonville.
talking. Keep talking over it. Just turn it off.
We've ruined your entire experience.
Oh my God, you really won't
Like a
stop.
jazz festival.
That's why we were talking over it, because it's really just that it's old people.
I think
There's
he likes it.
I don't know what to think of him.
Oh, shut up.
All right.
The whole point is they're old. There's really no reason to hear the song. The lyrics aren't. There's no
4.5 minutes long.
Yes. There's no Easter eggs in it.
We're about halfway done.
Yeah, if there was like a joke in there, I'd let you know. It's old people going Jacksonville.
Okay, but Hardy, the one I sent you is way better.
Hardy's over here.
Or, sorry,
There.
12.
All right.
The one I sent him is way better.
All right, I'll pull that up.
I don't.
All right.
You got to make sure that there's no cuss words.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's stop playing songs.
Okay, I'm sorry.
All right.
Nobody cares about Jacksonville but me, and I'm okay with
Okay,
that.
but that's why your before we get to football. Okay, give us we tasked you with finding 5 reasons that to go or to like Jacksonville.
Okay. The cost of living, obviously, number one.
Yeah.
Last time I was home, I ordered my usual sushi order here, which would cost me $50, $19.75 at home. Cost
Okay.
the rent. I could have a 5-bedroom.
That was at a Walmart.
gas station, actually.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Fair enough. It was that was a bait shop, Kendra. I think you got confused. You just saw dead fish.
Okay, nature also on this list. The fact that you can go freshwater springs. Have you guys ever swam in a freshwater spring?
No.
Oh my God, incredible! So much fun.
Are the other people in Jacksonville in it?
Well, they're all over Florida. You go and you can dive in underwater caves. They're 72 degrees year round.
No, we're not doing that. Also,
that's not happening.
aren't there wherever there's water in Florida, there's alligators?
Yeah, hell yeah.
So there's
There's alligator
alligators
gar
in
too.
in the freshwater spring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So no, I'm.
Oh,
not
I'm diving
swimming
right in.
You
Perfect.
guys swim with great white sharks and you're scared of
No, I don't.
water kitties?
No, I'm not going in the ocean where the sharks are.
You don't swim in do you only swim in pools?
I swim either on the bay side. I'll go to Mayflower Beach. There are no great white sharks over there.
You're not scared of jellyfish, stingrays.
I think it's a
nothing?
little different than being eaten. Don't you?
Okay.
How many alligator deaths do you hear of a year?
I fear hepatitis and caves. The water in Jacksonville is a human problem. There's waste in it and a bunch of other crap. What else?
All right, cost of
hold on.
living and nature.
Fewer than 1 death per year from alligators.
Okay, yeah, I have no fear of alligators.
Yeah.
If you lived in Florida, at
They're
any
just
point,
water kitties.
Yes, you've said that. I
Okay.
understand.
The nature. I love the nature stuff. The food. Huge.
Oh, get out of here, Ken.
Dude, are you not going to listen?
Better Hooters than anywhere else.
Hooters goes crazy.
Culinary destination, Jacksonville.
But there's a ton of Cuban influence. The second largest Filipino population in the country. We even have a Jollibee. So
Oh, I've been waiting for one of those. What's a Jollibee?
It's so good. If you have never had Jollibee fried chicken, the next time you are somewhere like near one, get it.
Oh, it's chicken. I didn't know it was chicken.
Yeah. Only in Jacksonville they serve chicken. It's a whole thing.
How's that?
The food.
How are the Cubano sandwiches?
So good.
Okay.
Publix also on the list.
Yeah.
Publix is so good.
Public subs are all right.
Golf. Okay. You're 3 hours max from Savannah, Orlando.
Can I just move there or there?
You'd rather live in Savannah or Orlando?
I would absolutely rather live in Savannah or Orlando.
I can't.
100%.
I can't agree with that.
When was the last time you were in the Orlando area?
All the time.
It's fantastic.
I hate Orlando.
It's the best place in Florida.
What? There's not even a beach.
Winter Park, Florida is as nice as any town I've ever been in.
There's not even a beach. And it's just like...
Well, there's a million lakes.
Do you like Disney? It's just Mickey Mouse and Disney adults.
Yeah, I love Disney. That's hence the Disney ladies loving me so much. I love Disney. And that's all there is to do there.
Yeah. That's not fun.
That's not... Disney's not in Orlando.
It's in Kissimmee, but it's...
No, it's in Lake Buena Vista. Kissimmee's a dump, but Kissimmee's not Orlando.
Disney's not in Orlando.
It's in Lake Buena Vista, Florida. It's like, what, a half an hour, Kendra?
It's not even half an hour.
Yeah, whatever. But
it's like its own compound.
yeah. Like, I went to Rollins.
You fly... It's Orlando.
I went to Winter Park, Florida. It's in the Orlando vicinity. I went to Rollins College, and I went to...
Okay,
one
so now
time
you're
I
biased.
went to Disney.
He's biased.
I'm not Bert,
but he's
swearing on my college. I don't give a rat's ass if anyone goes to Rollins. I've never given him a dime of my money since I've graduated.
He is also biased with experience because he lived there.
When was the last time you were in Orlando?
This summer. Have you followed my travels? I went everywhere horrible.
See? You don't even like it.
Orlando in July, no. Orlando in July sucks.
All right, we got food, we have cost of living, we have Publix. And
vacation, like beach, everything, golf, the weather, way more diverse than up here. And the
Than Boston?
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
And the ability to get so many different places in such a short period of time.
Oh, that's not true. Well, you can get to New York in 2.5 hours. Kendra, you're so wrong with this. It's
that's
ridiculous.
fine. You asked.
Yeah, I know, and you came up with nothing.
Okay.
But very good. I'm glad you like it. I'm
I'm going home tomorrow.
I know. It's very exciting. Is your mother there, or is she in Wisconsin?
No, my mom's there.
Good.
She's not picking me up from the airport, though, because I get in really late.
Yeah. No one should pick anyone up from the airport. That's a big rule of mine.
What?
It's unnecessary. Unless you're flying into Knoxville, then you have to get a car service, so it's kind of nice if
Your
someone picks
parents
you up.
drive how far to get you when you go to Knoxville?
20 minutes.
Yeah.
But you don't think people should get you from the airport, but your parents pick you up?
No, his parents picked him up in Atlanta, if I remember correctly, at one point.
That was Nashville. No one should pick you up from an airport that has access to cabs or Uber. And Knoxville does not. It's in Alcoa, Tennessee, and I can assure you, the Knoxville airport has 10 gates. What do you mean, 10 gates? 10 of them. The most airplanes they could have in there at one time is 10. I assure you can't get a car out of there. It's hard to park 4 cars in front of where you walk in. It's. My parents picked me up. I would pick any of you up from the airport if you landed in Knoxville.
I live close to the airport, so whenever my friends need a ride, I'll go grab them. I don't care.
Tell them to spend a little money and pay the hardworking cab drivers. All right, we'll be back. We'll talk to Kendra about this week in sports and the gambling and all these things. We'll have that for you in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy.
Okay. With Toucher and Hardy. Hit somebody.
Kendra, just I'm going to be at this game. Do you have any thoughts on the Boston College Clemson game at all? If you don't have to.
I don't. I do a majority of my college football research today. Just because this is the same thing with doing a bunch of like last minute NFL prep Saturdays. You kind of get like injury reports, better ideas of who's going to play. No, I don't really have any thoughts, but I would be going to that game if I wasn't going home this weekend for sure. Because I've never been to a BC game, and I really want to tailgate there.
We're in Boston, not in L.A.
Clemson kind of sucks.
I have season tickets with 2 guys, so we have 6 tickets, and one of the guys moved to Montreal. So if you need tickets to a BC game for free,
I do want to go to a BC game.
There's always 2 empty seats. 2 nerds from Cal sat in front of us last game. They said, "Can we sit here?" 3 of them in 2 it's benches. So like, "Can we sit here?" And I said, "Yeah." And they were chasing McGillicuddy's with lemonade. That's right. They had nips of McGillicuddy's that they were sipping and then chasing with lemonade.
What kind of McGillicuddy's?
It was a McGillicuddy's I'd never heard of before, but whatever. Like, McGillicuddy's is designed so you can
don't
drink
have to chase it. Yeah.
It's designed to be drink out of nips.
I had some crazy McGillicuddy's nights in college.
It doesn't get you drunk.
I weighed 99 pounds in college.
Okay. All right. And you also never had a drinking problem, so I assume that your tolerance was not as high as I.
Fair.
All right. Kendra, it's a big week in the NFL. What do you like this week? What are your games?
So I am really heavy on the Chargers and the Patriots this week. Those are going to be my 2 big plays. I got some other numbers early that still aren't available now. I don't know what it is about the NFL so far this season, but the spreads are getting so big that they're starting to look like college games. It's insane. I had this conversation on another show yesterday. Not including injuries. I don't want to talk about injuries at all. Current state of every single team. They all have problems, right? Like, there is not a perfect team. There's not a juggernaut. There's no world beaters out there. We saw
Detroit.
Even Detroit has their issues. So who do you guys think right now would be your Super Bowl teams as currently constructed, including injuries? It's hard for me to say right now.
In terms of talent, I would say...
Just who do you think is the best team?
Detroit, I think, is the best team in the NFL. And a lot of people do. So most people do, as a matter of fact.
AFC is tough.
I know.
The AFC, and what's funny is the AFC was supposed to be so great.
Yeah.
It's still Buffalo.
And it's garbage.
Still Buffalo.
I don't think this is going to be the Super Bowl, obviously, but if you ask me who should be in the Super Bowl based on the first 5 weeks of the season, it's Buffalo-Detroit.
Yeah.
But Buffalo just lost to New England.
I know, but
and the Lions' schedule is insanity.
But again, those games tend to happen. I don't think Buffalo is going to run the table. It's Buffalo and Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the Ravens are 1-4. The whole AFC West is kind of weird.
The AFC is weird, but if we're talking NFC here, Packers have to be in that conversation. And then I think if the Rams can add to the secondary before the deadline, they're a Super Bowl contender too.
The
Rams
Packers
are
have
lights
looked,
out.
The Packers have. Yeah, the Rams could. Obviously, the Rams could win the Super or could be in the Super Bowl. There's no question. But right now, the Lions are a better team. Yeah, you mentioned Green Bay. That's a weird team, man. They looked really good at the beginning of the season.
Let up 40 to the Cowboys.
Yeah,
but their offense, the issue for the Cowboys isn't the offense.
No, I know, but that was a defense that after week 1, everyone said was the greatest defense in NFL history because they held the Lions. The Lions couldn't do anything. And then they turn around and they crapped themselves a little bit. So what do you know?
So out of these big spreads, unless you don't want to go with any of these games, there's a 14.5.
I was
see
gonna
there's
say
11.5.
Out of the big spreads, if you're gun to my head type situation, I'm probably going to go the Colts, right? Like, I don't know if anybody had on their bingo card the Colts being who they are right now. We've talked time and time again on my Saturday show about how the Colts issues have just been leadership over the last couple years. It's not that they don't draft well. It's not that they don't have talent. The quarterback position's obviously been an issue for them. But good for Daniel Jones. Like, we see year after year, the last 4 or 5 seasons, these guys who have struggled with other teams kind of turn their career around. Like we talk about Baker Mayfield all the time. We talk about Sam Darnold all the time. We did talk about Geno Smith for a minute. I think that this is, the Indiana Jones moment, as they're calling him. So if I'm going to touch a big spread, probably going to be the Colts. Cardinals just got beat up on. I don't know how they returned from their confidence of what happened to them last weekend. Secondary's beat up.
Their coach is violent.
Probably going to go with the Colts.
So you're going to lay a 7.5?
I'm not going to, but if you're looking for some of these like bigger spread type situations, I love the Chargers this weekend. I think that this is a great spot for the Chargers. They've been really good on the road, East Coast games so far this season, which I didn't expect for them. I think the Dolphins are just rolling over, belly up, done. Don't want to fight for McDaniel anymore. He clearly doesn't want to be there. The Dolphins are injured. So are the Chargers. Their offensive line, right, just decimated. I think they're going to get Joe Alt back this week. Must-win situation for the Chargers. They're a good enough team to be able to go out there and beat this Dolphins team with lackluster talent by 3.5 points. And the 3.5 is still there. Go after the Chargers.
Another big spread, by the way, and you don't have to, if you don't got anything on it, you don't have to. Lamar Jackson didn't practice yesterday. The Rams on the road in Baltimore, a 7.5 points favorite.
Yeah, that was the other one that I was between talking about. It just, for me, I don't mind the Huntley look, right? The Ravens are just so hurt. How do you even... I get that people love the Ravens when they're healthy, but this is the most injured team in the NFL right now. It's a home spot, easy get-up spot, but the Rams are just a juggernaut right now. Like, they're lights out. You could consider that it's a look ahead, right? Like, they go to London coming up. So...
You think they're excited about going to London, catching the scene?
It seems like a lot of these teams do. Like, the travel sucks, but a lot of these guys seem like they don't mind.
From LA,
yeah. Well, I mean, LA is I think they're going to stay on the East Coast.
I would imagine.
Yeah, they're staying on the East Coast. That's already been announced. The other game that I really like is the Patriots this week, right? Like, a lot of people are fading, Vrabel and the Patriots this week. Obviously, there's stuff going on with Christian Gonzalez. You guys who listen to this station, hour in and hour out, know all of the Patriots up and downs. My thing with the Patriots is the Saints are a frisky team, right? Like, they're getting Taysom Hill back. He's healthy. He's going to be available. They're going to have some packages for him. My thing is, if the Patriots want to be taken seriously right now and have any sort of say in this division after beating Buffalo, which do I think the Patriots are going to win this division? No. But do they think that? Also no. You cannot lose to teams like the Saints or not cover 3.5 points against teams like the Saints, who are considered by many to be the worst team in the NFL. If you want to be taken seriously, you need to blow the doors off this team, regardless of if Christian Gonzalez is in this game or not. I'm hoping that it's one of these situations where it's not a bad spot as far as like a get-up game, because who wants to get up for the Saints? But you just beat the Bills. Drake Mays looked awesome. Get TreVeyon Henderson in the game. I get that the run game has been... I don't know what their deal is with hating TreVeyon Henderson.
I guess he can't block. He's not sophisticated. He's not sophisticated
I don't care about the
enough
excuses.
to... Well, I guess it's his lack of being able to get the offense.
You've got to beat up on teams like the Saints if you want to be taken seriously in this league, and that's what they have to do. 3.5 points is...
That's asking a lot out of them.
Are you serious?
To kill Carolina, beat Buffalo on the road, and then kill the Saints on the road. I mean, then they're like... You're playing like you're a Super Bowl contender at that point.
When did New Englanders become soft, though?
I'm not a New Englander.
I know, but
so
like,
I am soft.
But if that's the mindset, like if it's too tall
of the fan base, who cares what the fan base's mindset is?
If it's too tall of a task to beat up on the NFC South, are we serious?
It's been a long time since they've been disciplined enough and focused enough and talented enough to be able to do that. I'm not convinced. They did beat Buffalo. They played a great game, but it's also a young team that's very thin depth-wise. One injury, like Gonzalez, could spin them into a ditch.
I'm not talking about winning the game. I'm talking about dominating.
Yes, I am too. And
3.5 points isn't dominating.
No. You're talking about covering, but you said dominate this team.
They need to.
Yes, you said they needed to dominate. I'm not talking about gambling at this point. I'm talking about...
We're just talking football.
Yeah, we're just talking ball.
We're talking pigskin. Don't worry about it. But
they need to win this game big.
Okay. I don't know if they need to do anything, but okay. I think you're being a little...
Could you imagine
dramatic
this station if they lose to the Saints on Monday morning?
Actually, you know what?
I'll be happy.
If they do lose to the state, if we come in here Monday morning and they lose, you can't say we didn't see it coming. You know what I'm saying? You can't say that there wasn't...
Well, this show's going to be apoplectic. I mean, we're going to be out of our minds.
Yeah.
Look for 4 hours of just going nonstop on the Patriots.
Also, I hate to say it.
I couldn't do that if I tried.
I do not gamble
Trap
on
game.
Jaguars anything but player props. I think they lose to Seattle this weekend.
Okay. Can I ask you a question? What do you define as a trap game in that, by definition, not like a particular game, but by definition, how would you describe a trap game?
If it seems too good to be true. Like, if it seems...
Not gambling, but for a team. Like, what, like...
What's the
where on
scenario for
schedule?
a trap game?
Okay, so let's talk about this week, for example. Like, for me, it looks like the Browns coming off of 3 weeks on the road. Like, the Steelers should realistically cover this game, win this game outright. But I think that it's a divisional game. Like, divisional games, as we saw last night, they're just different. I think that you could consider, in my opinion, that's what I would consider. Like, it looks too good to be true. The Browns coming back from England, like, third road game in a row, beat up, whatever. This should be, like, the Steelers' bread and butter right here. But it's a divisional game, and divisional games are different. I think that the Brown, like, that type of scenario.
Okay, that's an interesting definition, and it doesn't sound wrong. Because our point of contention was people were calling this a trap game for New England, and we were saying, well, that's not a trap game because trap game in this scenario would be you beat Buffalo, you're playing New Orleans, who sucks, and then you play like the Lions the next week, right? Like so,
Yeah,
or you played a big divisional
That's like more
game
of
the
a
next
look
week.
ahead spot to me, though. Like, that's
Yeah,
what I
okay.
would define that as like a look
Fair
ahead.
enough.
So,
Fair
like,
enough.
that's what I'm talking about with the Rams is that this game looks like something that they should easily be able to handle. But if they're on the look ahead, prepping, for this travel and London and having to stay on the East Coast, not be with their families, that's what I would kind of differentiate between the two.
Okay. Similar definition, but a little bit of difference. All right, there you go, Kendra Middleton. Thank you.
Yep, you can follow my picks on the Action Network. I'll be here tomorrow morning. Yeah,
How do people? You're gonna be here tomorrow morning? I thought you were going to Jacksonville.
I leave after my show. I'm literally only home for like 35 hours.
What time is the flight?
I think 5 p.m.
Oh.
So I'm gonna go to the gym, and then I'm gonna. Logan's kind of a disaster, so I'm trying to get there a little early.
Why is Logan a disaster? I think it's
All the
I think
construction and everything going
it's,
on,
oh, no.
traffic.
It's airports go.
Yeah.
Big fan of Logan Airport.
You are a big fan
It's
of
fun.
Logan.
Fred and I were both there last weekend. I had zero
I was there
problems
last week,
getting
too,
in
but
and out of Logan.
I'm a little concerned with the
pre-check.
government shutdown. in
That's
the,
another thing, yeah.
like the,
I didn't. Once again, I didn't know if I could say that
why couldn't you say there's a government shutdown?
because everything feels political now.
Well, it is political, but
Stating
it's,
facts.
It's a fact. There is a government shutdown, and it could affect the airports because TSA
Nobody's
and flight-
volunteering, yeah.
and flight controllers are not. I mean, they're not getting paid right now.
Okay,
and
I
now
know-
there's debate if they're going to get back pay. So if you're not going to get back pay, I don't
I'm
know
not
what
showing
the
up
hell
to
you're
work now.
asking about people to do. With the back pay, it sucks. You're probably, there's a chance you're living paycheck to paycheck. It's horrible. I get it, but there's at least an incentive to work. My point is, there would be at least an incentive to work that when you got paid again, they would give you all that back pay, right? If they're not going to give you back pay, then I don't know why you go to work unless you're an essential worker.
Wait, I know you guys got to go to break, but would you go to work? Because I would not.
If I was in air traffic control, I can't imagine them not getting back pay. Like, I don't know why that hasn't been voted already. I don't know why the military hasn't been voted to get back pay. Like, I don't know. I really can't fathom how, even just as a trite political gesture, you wouldn't just get that done. Like, the one thing we can agree on is giving back pay to federal workers.
Yeah.
Like, that would just seem to be something that would be easily handled. Both sides win. We both look good. In fact, you both look great. In fact, it might be even like a small olive branch that we care enough about people to give back pay to federal workers.
And the next time when this inevitably happens, you will have people show up for work because they know they're going to get the back pay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like no one will commit to that, and it's just so aggravating. It would be debilitating if I was a federal worker, and just as a person in society that depends on these services, it's if nothing else, if not a big hindrance. All right, anyway.
Okay, love you guys.
That was political, but it wasn't either side, so I guess I'm okay. Unless someone's like really for not giving back pay, and then I don't know what to tell you. We disagree. All right, Kendra. I understand not wanting to get political. Stating a political fact is not. It's not even an opinion. There is a government shutdown. We're in the midst of it.
I wouldn't say that.
9/11 happened on the 11th of December in 2001.
12 is past.
Very well, because we're late. All right. Thank you, Kendra. That'll do it for Kendra. We'll be right back here. The headlines.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drink.
coaching the game.
Or it's just that is. I feel so strongly about that. I can't even tell you.
Boston Talk Sports here.
What do we got?
The Sports Hub. Why do people listen to Toucher and Hardy?
Because it's a thing.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
No idea what you're talking about.
Here's more of The Thing on the Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
All right. It's a Friday. Do you have our
I do so many options for Adam 12 this weekend.
Ooh.
Adam 12 is very spendthrift out of necessity. He
written about
That's
it.
right. John Muir wrote at length about the beauty of framing.
Jim Muir started suicidal tendencies.
That's right.
Jesus. Come to Elm Bank, 12.
And his
That's
brother
what-
was Dogtown.
Thank you, John.
12, the 46th annual Harvard Square Oktoberfest.
Oh, I love a good Oktoberfest.
Live music, countless international food vendors, crafts, and of course, festive beer gardens. Will you attend?
Yes, because it's tea accessible. I can take the red line. So
I was about to say, if you had to go anywhere in that vicinity, I'm sure driving is a breeze.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
Here's something in one of your favorite haunts, Somerville. Honk Festival 2025.
I love Honk.
Honk Festival of Activist Street Bands.
We were supposed to play Honk, me and the Dad Jazz Band last year, but you got to
look out, world! You're about to change.
What are you activating against? You and your father with your trumpet and trombone.
No, my dad plays guitar, and he's not in that band.
You know
He's in
the
a different-
establishment cannot like that's going on.
Honk has been going on for years. It's a delightful experience. Those who attend it know. Yes,
Reclaim the streets for horns, bikes, and feet parade. That will win.
What?
See?
Where do I lay down?
Right in the middle of the road.
Thank you.
How about this one? Free MFA admission on Indigenous Peoples
we
Day
love it.
2025 Museum of Fine Arts.
Might
Open
go there after
House.
work on
Line will be out the door.
You know, no joke, John. It is on those free. We used to take the kids a lot on those free MFA days, and you're at literally line out the door. People trying to get it for free.
There'll be a Taco Bell day where they're giving away
Wow.
a 80-cent taco for free, and there will be a line of cars, 10 miles long to get it. I mean, if you've been radio, especially more rock radio thing, I mean, we would give away T-shirts. This was back in the day, and women would do just incredible things in front of you for the T-shirts.
See if
Panama Jack T-shirt.
Let's see if 12 can name any of the quote-unquote 11 best pumpkin patches near Boston. Now, these aren't apple picking; these are pumpkin patches.
Now, we get ours at a church in Needham.
Actually, I get it at Russell Farms and right on the Woburn Reading
I get
line.
mine at the Stop and Shop.
Yes, I have them there as well.
Douse Orchards, right on the Natick Sherborne line.
My daughter wants to go to Pekin Farms in Canton tomorrow.
Oh, she's really nostalgic for the
No,
family.
she worked there.
I know, it's nostalgia.
Yeah. All right. So 12. Any idea what the best pumpkin patches are in and around Boston?
Orchards, I'll knock out of the park. Pumpkin patches, I'm not too wise on. I'm not big on stumbling around the pumpkin patches.
Well,
I'm sorry to say.
apologies to Hanson's Farm, Boston Hill Farm, Verrill, Brooksby, Natilla. I don't even know what this says. All right, 12 doesn't know. And one thing we know Adam 12 will not be attending is the Halloween patio party, calling all four-legged friends and their humans, dress up your pup and join us for a tail-wagging good time at Time Out Market, Boston. 12 does not like dogs.
God bless you if you have a dog that would put a costume on without either killing you or eating it immediately.
Scout loves her Halloween costume. She lays out in the front yard waiting for trick-or-treaters.
What's the costume?
And she's a little pumpkin princess.
Adorable.
Well, my cat is very finicky about the litter box. It has to be almost immaculate, or else she lays a crap on the ground to let everyone know it's not clean enough.
It's a crap of aggression.
Yeah.
But Deuce, my dog, has become quite a little soldier because if I leave that baby gate open long enough, he'll just get in there and eat all the poop.
Oh, lovely.
And you know what I say? Have at it, dude.
Less work for you.
I mean, you have a very interesting fetish, but nonetheless.
Look at her wearing a little pumpkin costume, just waiting for the trick-or-treaters. Isn't that adorable?
Oh, very cute.
So I took a picture with Kendra to put up on Instagram.
Yes.
But we're having a debate if I should put it up now or if I should wait for next week when she's coming on next, because I really don't know what to caption it. Because it's a wild attempt to get followers.
I like the idea of waiting a week to promote that she's like doing it at the beginning of next Friday show to promote that she's coming up, because that could give a little boost to the.
Oh, and then she has to collaborate on it.
That was
She's
my
got
idea.
way more followers than me.
Yeah.
That was
the way to
Hardy's
do it.
idea.
That's good, Hardy. Let's.
I mean, you two are like a brain trust. This is like working with Microsoft in the beginning.
Regular Steve Ballmer over here.
Oh, that's the one I'd want to be. So a guy who thinks he's so funny and no one can tell him that you're not. Oh, he sucks. All right, that'll do it for us. Everyone
Enjoy
have a
your
great day
weekend.
or weekend. Bye.